Hello, everybody, and welcome to Eberron, Chapter 4, Eye of the Storm. So, as everybody's, I'm even going to ask how you're doing. You guys are the worst at answering that question. We're not going to ask. Eric's tired, Ollie's hungry, and Aaron's hangry. So,
How do you know I had some pizza? Perfectly fine.
and Will's not here because he had, I think, wedding stuff to do. Doesn't really matter. All right, so last time we played, we left off with a little bit of something going on. So we had
We described it earlier as we didn't end on a cliffhanger. We just ended in the middle of something.
yeah, that's fair. I mean, it was getting late, and you guys are like, we're gonna keep pushing.
Stop.
All right, so if I remember correctly, let's kind of situate where all the characters are. Aaron, you're locked in a room with your crew. People standing outside of it stopped banging on the door, and they're like, "Oi, we'll leave now. Deal?" And Aaron's like, "No." Oh, players are way too quiet. Thank you, Midori. It was still set for when I was with Aaron, and I didn't want anybody to hear her. What? And let's see. The Reich, I believe, is standing on the deck of the ship. Yeah. Yeah, I think.
Oh
No, it was Reich.
Reich is with Stalbor in the escape craft.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right. That's right. My apologies. I forgot you guys got into escape craft. I thought you guys were still on the deck of the ship up above. You had already gotten onto the like longboat and were flying down. That's right. And Bellum on his new magic carpet that he claimed for himself and nobody's disputed thus far. I think it should go to Stalbor. I think all the magic items should go to Stalbor.
I don't think I've seen it yet.
Yep.
Is the actual like in-universe answer? I don't know he has it.
Yeah, we didn't know he had it until just this moment.
Yeah. I guess I would have seen him. Yeah.
So you guys are making your way to the
Asshole.
So he is flying upwards, and he was trying to look to see if he could see the creature, the Thorian. So he could attack it with his bow. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to see the Thorian because it like borrowed its way into the ship and then around a corner, so like it couldn't be seen from just the hole up above. So picking that up, and what's the word I'm looking for? Initiative doesn't matter at this point. How would you guys want to act? I'll allow Erin to lead the way on this one.
Sure. The first thing I wanted to do was turn towards my first mate, who is not Aramet, but I can't remember his name. Do you remember, Scott?
I do, actually, yeah.
Don't you have a document
It's
somewhere with all
Saravesh.
the names of
I
the crew
do.
members?
I'm
It's
not gonna look it
Saravesh,
up. I
and
think
I'm
Scott
going
knows
to the
how it's
document
done.
right now.
Saravesh.
I'm trying to find the document right now.
So Saravesh and Mia, I am going to turn you guys into a cloud. You're going to float away. You are going to tell the others that they need to destroy the Mound Lord at any cost.
Savalum.
And I will stay here, Savalum, and I will protect the crew. Okay?
So you're saying you want to send the two of them as Cloud up above. To where?
Yeah, I'm basically saying like to talk to the other crew member. I don't know what's going on.
Sure.
I'm saying like they need to destroy the Mound Lord at any cost. I will take the crew until they do. But these people are not gonna filter from their control until it happens. Okay?
They are agreeing. Yep.
Okay. So I'm going to twin gaseous form.
Okay.
I did not know you could cast out on other people.
I know.
You need to turn Stalbor into a cloud one day. I don't even need there to be a reason. Just needs to be a cloud. I mean, he can already turn into a cloud, I guess. Never mind.
So you twin the spell like you had said, turn them both into the gaseous form, and as soon as both of them become incorporeal or discorporeate, I should say, they start to rise up through the actual cracks of the boards, because they don't have to worry about going out the doorway or anything like that. They can just eep up through the floor itself or through the ceiling itself to the floor.
And the ship is always like half broken, so there's definitely cracks.
Both Reich and
we just fixed it.
Stalbor.
Right.
I just realized you guys are in the wrong spots. Reich and Stalbor, could you guys actually make me perception checks, please?
What do my elf eyes see, Scott?
I'll wait for Reich to roll too.
Yeah, that's polite.
There we go. I just fixed you. All right, so Stalbor, you don't really notice anything. It's actually Reich's eyes who catch the mist rising up through the floorboards of the ship itself. You're the one that can see it happening. You're not an idiot. You've seen Kyrann use this ability before. So maybe at first you think it's Kyrann. However, you have a really high wisdom and it's not a bad memory. And you notice that this is a lot more mist than you've seen her turn into before. And it seems to be moving separate from one another. You could almost immediately assume it's two different people.
All right, so I would gesture. I would, get Stalbor's attention and gesture to the smoke, and I'd say, "There's what appears to be two forms coming up. Be on guard, but I think it's Kyrann. I think it's Kyrann and someone else."
Okay.
Yeah, in this situation, absolutely Stalbor assumes that a cloud is coming from Kyrann. If we ever meet an enemy storm sorcerer, we're screwed. But in this situation, I think he can sort that.
And Scott, my plan is basically just to hold that room.
Oh, I figured. Yeah, I figured that. So, as for conversation down there, is there any bit of conversation that you feel as though you need to have with the with them, or you good? Them out inside the doorway, because you've pretty much assumed out of game that the power over their mind has not been relinquished, even if in game Kyrann is still thinking that.
Yeah. So I would just turn to the crew and I would just be like, we need to hold this area until they can destroy the being that's controlling the other people.
So the rest of the crew kind of grabs up what they can. Kyrann luckily has extra weapons on her, so she'll be able to hand out.
That's true. I would have actually tossed my rapier to
Savellum.
Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. And remind me again. I'm sorry. It was Savellum. And what was the other one you had sent up? Mia, that's right. And she's actually still with you. You know what I mean? So she's still with you and everything, which is wonderful. So you send the two of them up to go up above. Awesome. So Stalbor and Reich, roll me one more perception check, please. That's a good perception check. So Reich, you just noticed the commotion, everything going on down there. You were somewhat distracted by the everything kind of happening in the mist itself and trying to identify whether or not it was Kyrann. Stalbor, you notice that there is some fisherman making his way up the dock and actually starting to walk up onto the ship itself. But this fisherman, even though it looks very, very, very out of place coming onto the ship, clearly has a purpose for being here. Maybe if it was a less keen eye, they wouldn't have noticed. But
maybe someone without a 20 intelligence.
Maybe someone with a 20 intelligence, but this person, it's not just like, they clearly look as though this isn't where they're supposed to be or whatever. That's fine. The disguise is impeccable. But it's the way that the feet fall on the boards, the way that it seems to know the sway of the ship perfectly. You realize, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So I assume I'm crashing with style the escape boat down. Where are we in relative?
So you're coming down very quickly. You could get to the actual ship itself if you want to in just 15 seconds or so. If you want to just go down there, you don't have to crash necessarily. You have experience.
I can control it.
With the Thanks, Odette.
So does it work the same sort of way as the Odette thing?
Similar enough. The Odette one was magic, whereas this one's an elemental binding. So it's similar enough.
Which isn't magic.
It's different. One's not a person.
Different, but enough that Stalbor can reasonably understand this machine. Yeah,
yes, of course. Okay.
I would be trying to go beside the ship, the bowl of the sea.
Okay, awesome.
If possible.
As you're doing that, you hear Bellum call down to you, Stalbor. Just calls out your name to get your attention.
I will look up.
When he gets your attention, he's gonna point to the big ring, the kind of ring that's attached to the actual ship of the airship up above that seems to have the fire, the actual ring of fire contained within it. He's gonna point to that thing and say, "What happens if that breaks?"
The ship crashes.
He nods to that, and then he turns.
The similar sort of. The ship. Oh.
He turns around, knocking an arrow, and as he's flying up to rise even higher, he's starting to lob an arrow at the actual strut. The little
you
ring.
need more than just an arrow, Bellum.
You say that. But
before he does that,
just roll a 20.
What's the orientation of these ships? Is the ship right above our ship?
Not directly above, but
I'm imagining there's a little bit of miming here. The port of Adaport has the bowl of the sea there. The cargo airship is here, so it would crash into the water, not the land. But it would still.
Is one, will it crash into the bowl, and two, will it crash into the land?
So, an important thing to note is that this port does not have an airship dock. So there's no set tower for the airship to have gone and docked next to. Okay, so that being said, it's like Ollie was saying, it's slightly off of where the normal docks are, over onto the ocean. Because if somebody were to bring an airship here without a set place to dock, they'd want to be as close to the docks as possible, where they can normally handle the transference of goods. So, but yeah, it's not like in the water. It's up by about 200 feet or so. And if the Aaron can teleport.
So because of 200 feet, and this is a really big ship, it's probably going to fall roughly straight down. Depending on how it happens, maybe where you break the ring.
If you're lucky, it goes down. It might go like one of these.
Yeah, but it's only 200 feet up, which I know is a big amount, but the airship is huge.
Wouldn't the airship potentially not move at all because it has very limited crew and has Sorewood?
So Sorewood can maintain its own weight, as well as I believe it's 1 pound per weight of it. Usually airships are stacked full of more weights than what
This is a huge cargo ship as well, filled with
we never looted it.
And a big Thorian.
So usually the fire ring will help to keep it up despite the weight. But again, usually it's one of those things when an airship is way high up, then the crashing down gains momentum and speed as it goes. As opposed to just, it's just going down,
So it'll crash. How it'll crash is a mystery.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'll say to Reich then. It's like, of all the people that can destroy that thing, we need Kyrann. One well-timed zap. And then he'll do that, and then realize he needs the hand on the wheel and quickly turn back. Can send that ship stumbling down without having to worry about the Thorian.
Right before you respond, he's able to land the ship and pull it up so it's alongside the other one, so it's like a footstep down onto the regular ship. Go ahead.
If I cleared the way, would you be able to get Kyrann to a position where she could deal some damage to that thing?
As long as this ship still works, tapping the wood, it would be easy.
Alright, I think I have an idea.
Who put this dog here?
I throw my dog at them.
You tried that once. Didn't work out.
Yeah. No. Dog first bomb. That YouTube channel won't take off. Alright, so so
I know on YouTube it actually might survive.
That's not the first time we talked about bombing dogs today.
What?
Yeah, the channel might survive, not the dog.
Oh yeah.
So I get off onto the bowl because we're next to the bowl right now.
Yeah.
Right. I look at how are all these dudes oriented? So they're all trying to get into the door.
I'll gladly answer that question. So the Bowl of the Sea. You've seen the map of it beforehand. So an important thing about the bowl.
Fairly generic ship shape, right?
Correct. So let me see if I can actually pull it up.
Just for chat, real quick.
Yeah. Let me see if I can pull up a good picture for you.
But not a huge ship.
Bowl of the Sea. As a reminder, show to players.
Yeah.
Over here. Bing.
So
everybody can be reminded what the ship looks like. There it is, on top of all of our faces. You can see the Bowl of the Sea right there. It is a so you guys are going on to the main deck right there, or the main deck, as you can see right there, where number 5 is. So they actually just went down below deck. And where they're below deck, they're actually trying to speak to Kyrann. Kyrann had kind of locked herself in with the rest of her crew. They're back towards on the very, very lower deck. So they're back at number 15 is where they are. All the way down below, all the way back to number 15 is where she made her way to them.
Are we gonna have a Daredevil hallway fight scene? Right? He's very low health, never mind.
It's gonna be exactly a Daredevil fight scene. It's gonna be beat the
You're
fuck
bad
out
guy,
of him.
just get one hit down.
I'm gonna beat the fuck out of him. I'm gonna go in there and kick the shit out of all these people. So I step down and I say, I'll make you a hole. Just get Kyrann up there and bring it down. And I'm going to draw my sword. And I'm going to head down towards the towards the people.
Okay. So he starts making his way down to kind of like go and get Kyrann. But I think that's funny because didn't you just assume Kyrann seeped up through the ground?
Yeah. You haven't talked to the other clouds yet.
Damn it!
I
another
didn't
game.
say. I guess yeah. I still said get.
Yeah.
Kyrann.
So yeah, I would say in that case, if he says that, I say instead of saying we need to get to Kyrann, I would say well, let's wait for her to corporeate, and we can have her blow this thing out of the sky. And
Okay.
I would just wait patiently.
So you're still gonna wait at the top of the stairs then?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I would have no reason to go down.
okay.
It makes sense if I'm on the boat that you're on the other boat. You know, covering bases.
Yeah.
So so Ollie, you see that person walking over, like kind of like you give that person a look, like a knowing look, you know who it is. And so that person's actually gonna come walking straight over to you. To see who you are. So they like walk up to you. But as they're walking their way, beelining over towards you, you're going to hear from down below, all of you, Aaron, of course, you're going to hear it the loudest, somebody, that same person as before, yelling towards you saying, so you going to get out of here so we can have this back? Or are we going to have to come barging in and like we said, we'll let you go. No questions asked.
What barging, by the way? Because I lightning bolted the door at the end of last session.
Oh shit! This is the issue with
forgot
stopping
about
between sessions,
That
between
was
things.
the
I'm
cliffhanger.
100% blaming Will for this. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna fuck everything up that we just planned on, and then not show up next week. So, you did lightning bolt the door. Aaron, you never rolled your damage. We were supposed to literally pick up with the lightning bolt.
Did I not?
Roll your damage. No.
Yes. It was like, I'm gonna roll a lightning bolt, and Scott was like, next time!
Yeah.
Do the whole to be continued thing as you're casting.
31
Remember
damage. Jesus
rip door?
Christ. So that's definitely going to be able to blast apart the door that's there, and so anybody on the other side of it is going to get caught in the line. Now, as a reminder of how that picture looks, if you're still choosing to see it, that's not going to hit everybody because it does hit the side of the ship instead. So what you're going to see is you're going to do that blast through. It's going to hit the people on the other side, frying them with the lightning. You guys are going to hear so we're going to kind of like retcon it a little bit to this is the point in time. As somebody's speaking, all of a sudden she just kind of interrupts the speech with a blast. Door blasts apart, you hear screams and whatnot as that happens. Ollie, you see a flash of light down like awfully because you're standing on like the edge of the little boat that you're at. Where you see a flash of light and you see splinters of wood coming out from underneath the boat
other
beneath
end.
you. Yeah. Down below by the water, down by your feet. So you start seeing that happen.
I'll turn to Ryke and be like, Kieran's definitely still on the boat.
Well,
The wall did not completely blast open down there, but it fucking hurt it really big. Like somebody like Wright could easily kick it in. You know what I mean? I mean, actually, you could even kick it in.
That's actually below water?
What?
Yeah.
Is that part of the ship actually below water?
Correct. That's the hull.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, I assume so. I wanted to check.
Mhm.
That's definitely a leak. That's not good.
Yep.
Ah,
Well, the
That's
fun part
not
is she's a
great.
lightning mage and their feet are all getting wet.
that's true. We could Bioshock this bitch.
There's no mechanics for that.
That's okay. We
But
just
yeah,
make them up as we
that
go.
would be my reaction of the Kieran's definitely still on the ship.
yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that.
Who's the camera on, Scott?
We're gonna leave the camera on Reich and Stahlbor right now because she just blast
so
open.
I'll
Okay.
turn to N and just be like, "Do you have a weapon?"
So Ed actually has the staff. Sorry, the what's it called? The fishing rod in his hands, and he's like, I'm not one for fighting, but I know how to use this if I need to. It's got a trick or two.
No. And I'll unhook the +1 silver flame sword and I'll just throw it at him.
Okay, that's better than what he has.
Yeah.
So you
No. After I assume he catches it.
grabs the sword, but it's one of those things where, because nobody's watching or nobody's around at the moment anyways, literally as the sword's flying across the air and drops the stick on the ground, it does like a transformation into a different persona in the air. And he's like, oh, hey there, friend! It's been a while since we've seen each other!
Starboy's face goes from awe and interest to just a...
Yeah.
Please defend us.
Dropping all pretenses, just
Yeah.
enjoying the moment. The transformation switches, and N actually becomes a full, true changeling in the gray natural form in front of you, and is going to take the sword and sheath it into the sheath that she usually has, or she usually has at your side, as your belt underneath the cloak, and starts climbing down the side of the boat down to where Kyrann is. Like down, like where the blast just happened.
All right, if he's going after Kyrann, then I'm following him.
So you go in
Are you
the
gonna climb
inside,
down
or
as
you go in
well?
the outside?
Actually, right, yeah, you might be able to climb down. You're a
Yeah, I'm
talented
gonna
boy.
climb. I'm gonna climb down.
Roll me your athletics or acrobatics, sir. Athletics is better.
I'm a dex boy.
Athletics is better.
It's better. All
It's a
right,
lower DC by 5.
Oh, I have a lower athletics by 3, so that's what I shall do, good sir.
Oh,
Hey!
you roll very well.
Hey.
So,
I'm glad we don't have Reich drown to death in a very unheroic way.
you climb down the side of the
He
boat.
went down into David Jones' locker.
You climb down the side of the boat with N, and as you guys get to the bottom of the boat, N actually takes a python, and this is around the area where the lower deck of the ship is, and it hammers a python into the ship with a rope already having been pre-tied onto it, and is like securing it so there's no chance of you guys just falling in, and like starts lowering yourself down to the actual water line where that blast happens. Because the rope isn't just like easily tied in, it's like tied, and then there's 2 bits coming off of it. There's a spot right where you can hang on too. It's a lot shorter than yours, but
I don't even need to do that. I have slow fall, so literally what I could do is I could just jump off the side, slide down slowly, and then just with my athletics check, just heave myself into the hole that was created.
the hole isn't fully created yet. That's the thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so
it's just a blast.
then I can just I'll still do that, and I'll catch on to something as I get a little bit lower down, and then try to climb. Is there like a porthole or something I can get into?
Nope, nothing like that. That's why.
You're gonna have to.
that's right.
Have you seen Spider-Man: Homecoming?
Oh god.
Yes.
You're gonna have to do that.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to kick it in with some
Yeah,
momentum.
like where
Alright.
you swing and yep.
Now,
That's
bear in mind
literally-
I'm facing the ship.
That's literally what G
Kyran's
is
gonna be a little
setting
bit
up.
upset
Yep.
at me. All right, well, then, seeing what he's doing, then I would probably prepare. I would prepare myself, and I would like to use the athletics if you allow me to try to pull off that trick
Go right ahead.
rather than just climbing down. So instead, just jump down and try to kick my way through there.
Go right ahead. Make your athletics check.
You make me make another one.
Yeah, you gotta make it down.
Sorry. My apologies. The athletics check was 5 for your description. I need a strength check for the kick portion.
Yeah. I believe.
I believe in a thing called
Check.
love. That's what the my heart.
What a save.
All right,
Okay.
you gotta.
You can re-roll that legally.
Is Ollie within 30 feet? I know that Ned is within 30 feet.
Wait, why can he re-roll it legally?
It's
Face.
a save, not a check.
You said re-roll.
Because we
Oh, well,
re-roll-
that does matter, but it would be probably in my favor to re-roll. So I'll leave the decision up to you.
It's always been false pretenses canon to re-roll when you do the wrong thing. Aside from one time you were like,
I
Oh,
used
he
to
did
save.
save. Yeah.
Oh, save instead of check. Oh, I misunderstood. I was like, he doesn't have a mechanic that allows him to. You're correct, Ollie. Oh, you so much better. Look at that. That's amazing.
I don't think you can save face that. I think that's kind of what it is.
Yeah,
Maybe sleeping fish.
I believe.
And then what happens
It's
is
probably like the coolest looking thing too. It's like a fucking comedy movie. I'm gonna jump off like this slick ass fucking. I catch on the rope. I swing down and I just like face planted to the side and slide down slowly.
Oh, Jesus. I will gladly roll ends for you so you can see it. So we can see how much better than yours
It's
it
gonna
is.
go over and just fucking Fonzie the thing. He's just gonna, and it's gonna fall down.
Strength check.
Oh! Do you need me to do it?
Hey, wizard, wizard, stay in your boat.
Yeah, someone has the fucking 21 strength belt for no goddamn reason.
Aaron, almost
fine.
immediately after you shot the lightning bolt and people freaked out and whatnot, they freaked out for a second, but then, and this is where Kyrann comes to the realization that hold over their mind, excuse me, has not been relinquished yet. She sees them seemingly moving in unison as they kind of get back up and get themselves ready to come in and start attacking at you. And they do. They do attack at you. I'm not going to have them make a whole bunch of different attacks. I'm actually treating them almost like a swarm. You know what I mean? So instead of doing a ton of different attacks to these creatures.
Okay, because they only have like a 5-foot like space to get through. So it's hoping to funnel them.
There's a cool mechanic in Mutants and Masterminds that I was literally thinking about today, whether it would even work in D&D, where you give, if you have a large group of like goons, basically Mutants and Masterminds is a superhero system that I really want to play.
Yep. It's an
you
old
just give,
system.
if they all can attack as one, quote unquote, you just give them a +1 to attack and damage for each person in the group. And I don't even know. I don't know if that would necessarily work in D&D.
You just got gooned.
It is a thing in Pathfinder. It's
Yeah.
very similar.
I think you could do a similar thing. I think you'd have to tweak it a bit.
But again, Scott, my idea was to funnel them into this room through a 5-foot space. I don't really know how all of them would get through.
That's fine. The more or less, it's just the group is attacking. So even if it's not just one at a time that be coming through, it'd be 2 or 3 kind of pouring in that are making their way into attack at you. Against your AC of, do you have anything to beef it up?
No.
Okay. So against your AC, and they would be funneling in and attacking. It's just kind of one of those, like, you just did the lightning bolt, and then they're surging immediately afterwards, and they're all, like, kind of pushing each other from behind forward and everything. They actually are going to hit you, but they're only going to hit you for a sad 7 points of damage. So you take 7 points of damage from the attack as they are funneled in. Again, not all of them are able to get to you yet. Roll me a perception check, please, Kyrann. With advantage, because it's loud.
Alright, let me adjust my damage really quick. Or health. With disadvantage?
With advantage, my apologies.
Advantage.
Okay. So you actually hear a thump, thump, coming from the outside where you see the wood cracked from where you threw your lightning bolt out and water starting to leak in.
Okay. I can't really do anything about that right now. I don't really know what that is.
Okay.
So, I take note of it.
Okay. Stalbor, what do you want to do?
I mean, can I see those two? I assume they went out of my vision range.
No, you can look down, up, because again, we're at the side where the blast came out to, right? So you can look down and you can see them. I see Stalbor just like tying a rope up here and doing like a big Spider-Man swing.
I mean, like, I want to, but that's actually stupid.
With his 20 intelligence, he has like a perfect measurement of the exact amount of rope and exactly how to work the fulcrum.
Plus the 21 strength. Like, it in theory could work.
Like,
but
perfectly. I think
I need
it's
to be the
bursting
getaway
through like
driver.
an elf of manly muscularness.
I'll do that if they continue to fail.
Then cast Magic Missile.
Then cast Magic Missile.
Oh.
Are you out of magic missiles?
Not first level.
Not even close, son.
Yeah, there's not a lot I can do for them. I'll just... There's no mind-controlled thralls on the surface of the boat, right? On the top
No,
deck.
they all made their waves back under.
Okie dokie. I don't know. Yeah, there's not really a whole lot I can do. I'm gonna keep an eye on them. I'll be watching them. I'll pull the parking brake up on the little ship, and I'll just kind of check on them, and if they keep failing, I'll do something, but I can't really help right now.
Reich, that's you.
Oh, actually, I'll totally cast Force Life on myself.
So is this another acrobatics then strength check, or is it just strength check at this point?
This one, it is a strength check.
I believe. Not terrible.
Is it
what's the situation?
My
saving
dude,
face
we're
wise?
level 7. That's not good.
Yeah, is it
Hold
action
on.
pointable?
Hold on, yeah, it might be
Ooh.
action football, but let me ask you, saving face, like, is that just a +1 right now, or is that like a +2? Because
I'm watching.
1, 2, 2.
so I will use my saving face.
I would
and then
I would actually even say 3, because if it causes you to succeed, like if that one is the difference, because Kyrann would see it as well.
Because Kyrann would see it. I'd like.
Okay.
If that one is the difference, yeah.
Because you're thinking of like, man, Kieran's in the other side, so it makes sense.
I would never let you live it down. If I heard like 3 thwacks before you got in.
All right, that's 14 + 5, 19 total.
Okay, so you jump backwards once again, holding on to that little bit of rope that N had left for you, and you come swinging in with all of your might, and you kick through the side of the wall, come sliding in, come bursting through the wall with a huge rush of water immediately behind you. Now, this rush of water comes flooding in behind you, sweeping through the bottom level of the ship, which comes with enough speed that pretty much everybody in the hallway gets swept off of their feet. But you know who doesn't? The Storm Sorceress. She got a swim speed, you know?
Hey.
And neither does her crew, because she would also never let them live it down. Tucked behind her, behind some walls and whatnot that would protect them from most of the initial crash of water coming in, that's able to stop them from just being swept off of their feet by the force of the water sweeping by. But the water is surging in very, very quickly. N comes swimming in behind that little hole. You see Stalbert up above, him come bursting through with all his... gets pulled right in with the current. You see N swing out once more, and then as going in with momentum, let go, and the rope's kind of like dangling off to the side, and N's not there anymore.
And Stalbor is aroused by the
Yeah, boy.
badass.
I'm always at half-mast, dude.
Whoa, whoa.
Don't say that while we're playing around with ships.
Whoa. So anyways, Kyrann, how do you react to them bursting? Oh, roll me a perception check. Definitely advantage on this one, because it's just to see if it's him.
It would just be normal because I'm exhausted still.
Ah,
forgetting that.
Fluff a duff. Go ahead. Something came bursting through the side of your ship. You're not entirely sure what it is. You just know it's red.
Oh, crap. I'm poisoned, too.
Yeah, we've been forgetting about that. Are there dudes still in front of me or no? Have they all been swept away?
Oh, no, well, swept off of their feet, but not away. And yes, they are in front of you. Still mind controlled.
And away. Strength, Constitution, saving throws. From me, Scott.
That's amazing. Who are you teleporting with?
I'm not.
Oh, no.
Thunderwave.
I thought this was the teleporting one. My apologies. So, because the other one's called something similar enough.
Thunderstep.
Thunderstep, thank you. So, you're just
That's
kind of...
really good, because that's the one where it's a cube, so you could do it on the other side of the door and knock everyone over.
Wow.
I always forget that. Works super weird, but makes
13 feet
sense.
cube.
Yeah, this is cool. Eric, make a Constitution save.
Oh, rip.
Whoa. He is definitely not within 15 feet.
Oh, he most certainly is. He just
The
burst through
length
the door.
of the ship is...
Maybe Ollie doesn't
1, 2,
understand
3,
where
4,
you guys
5,
are.
6, 7, 8. Didn't it? She's sitting at the back of the ship.
So, Ollie,
And
he
she,
burst
like,
in.
drives
Look at number
halfway
15.
through.
Look at number 15 on
Yeah.
the map.
Oh, it's lengthways. It's breadthways.
There you go.
Aaron, what's your
Samantha-
save?
Oh, I misunderstood that too. To be fair.
Fine.
Yeah.
What's your save?
It is I think it's a
I
14?
thought it-
14.
Yeah! Look who just did it.
Awesome. So, Eric, you take what? Half the creature isn't pushed and takes half damage. Aaron, roll your 2d8.
You might...
Aaron, roll
not
low.
count.
Please roll low.
complete the relationship
Alright.
goals.
You can very easily just straight.
I've killed a lot of Eric's characters. The goal's passed.
Oh Jesus!
You only take 5. You
I'm
have
at 3.
3 health left. You have 3 health left. So
Ooh,
anyways,
Knocked back.
yeah.
we got
So
this
out of the
many
ship.
guys.
So you guys, so you're still there. So Eric, you get thrown off of your feet again in the water, but you're easily able to kind of like grab hold of the wall behind you, use it to hold
Hip
yourself up and like push yourself back forward using the current behind you, the wall that stopped you from being thrown backwards. Kyrann, the people that are in front of you got thrown back from your force there and out into the ocean, out the hole that just got made bigger by the huge thunder wave that you just sent it at the break in the side of your ship. And the
We need to
bodies
pick
that
a
hit
ship
it
and
hurt
save
it
it.
too. You kind of really fucking up your ship right now, Aaron. All this huge amounts of water pouring into the ship. So if you actually look at the map one more time, and I'm going to bring that up again for everybody else to see. If you actually look at the map again, you have you guys were inside 15, Kyrann and crew. Eric had actually had jumped in right over around where the door to 15 is, right? Now the water is rushing down 14 at such speeds everybody else is thrown off their feet, and the entire underhull is being like, you know, filled up with water. So go ahead. What do you guys do?
I try to keep my insides inside my body.
I mean, I
And-
rush out.
In between stapling the holes that is now my corpse, my bloating corpse, shut, I'm going to find an enemy, and try to fight them.
There's no visible enemies. They're all being swept away by huge rushing water. Make me an athletics check with disadvantage.
Oh dear.
Oh yay! Athletics. That's a skill I like.
You actually are able to swim freely enough. I mean, this is storm water. You got a 15 versus a 20, but you're able to maintain your control with a combination of like the slow fall ability as the current is pushing you, and you're just 15 on the athletics check to not just be completely swept away and smashed into a bunch of things as you move on. You initially gather yourself up by getting caught up in a hammock unintentionally at first, but then you're able to again control where you get rushed around by the current. Where are you going, Eric?
So I would like to go towards Kyrann and say something to the effect of, "We need to get out of this ship, and we're gonna need to pick a ship because the flying one is heavily damaged too."
You don't need to
sent
move
people
towards
up.
her. You're close enough. You can just start shouting and she can hear you. Go ahead, Kyrann. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I sent people up to go tell you to take that ship.
I like
I
how
say down
Wright
here.
said none of the things he'd say.
Rick does that a lot.
I
I'm also very
It's
injured.
Kieran's frustration. All right. So what I'm going to do, Scott, is I'm going to cast 2 shape waters to block 2 of the holes.
All right, there you go. Beautiful. So you're just going to throw up the shape water. So the hole is actually just a really big hole. So more or less you plug that hole right there. Are you trying to do it with the ice? Is that, or just to break the current that's right there? To break the current, right? Or freeze
Try
it?
to break the. Like, it doesn't really matter, does it?
Okay, no, I was just looking for the theme.
Just to shape the water, then I'm not gonna worry about ice.
Sure. So it's literally just like all of a sudden the water starts to bubble and then push backwards, and you can see like it's only a cantrip. So what you're trying to stop is a considerable amount of force. However, you are a powerful sorceress, so you can see like the spell is starting to like bow and the bubble is starting to come inwards. But like as this is happening and you turn to start saying whatever it is that you're about to say, like mid conversation, you kind of like look back at it and like just push back with your hands, and it pushes all the force back out and kind of re-solidifies it, so it only very slightly starts fighting back against your spell again. Please, you were gonna yell.
I sent people up to you to take over that ship, while I protected everyone else. Did you not get those orders? I can't hear you. You're muted, Eric.
Reich's drowning.
I would say I said they were smoke. It wasn't super helpful in trying to understand what their orders were. The ship above us is heavily damaged. We were hoping that you would destroy that one and not this one.
The ship was overrun.
The ring above us, the Thorian is on the ship. If you destroy the ring, we can send it cascading into the ocean and hopefully kill that thing.
Yeah, I get that, but I can't do that and stay down here.
Well, yes, go up. I wasn't asking you to stay down here. I was asking you to go sit there.
I point to the giant fucking hole in the ship that I'm currently
It lasts
maintaining.
for an hour. It's not concentration.
Oh, is it really? Oh no. Okay,
it's
never
not
mind
concentration. It's just that's it now.
then. Never mind then. I thought it had a
Yeah.
range on it. I had to stay with it or no.
I don't think it doesn't. You don't have to stay there. It just is like that now.
Oh, nifty then. Get Stalwart to come back down here and try to fix this.
I look at my destroyed body and I say, "Fine, just go and deal with it."
Yeah.
Just
I'm gonna
hold
use
myself
some
as I try.
I'm gonna use some sorcery points to make a 3rd level spell to cast Fly on myself, which will, by the way, end the concentration on the gaseous form people. So hopefully they found land.
Yeah. Did they ever get to our ship? They took a long time to go like 5 feet.
They were
that's
trying
their
to go
flight.
up to the airship,
What? I guess.
right? Because they
Not
were trying to go
anymore,
find
not.
Reich and everybody.
Would they have had time, Scott, to find like safety or no?
It's a good question. Ah!
Did they not realize the lifeboat leave it? I guess they're stupid NPCs.
No.
All right, so I won't cast Fly yet. I'll just run up.
So you're fine. You cast Fly because you assume it's been a long period of time. It's been more than enough. That's fine.
I also know you move slowly when you're in gaseous form.
You do know that.
I
know that. So I'm not going to cast Fly yet. I'm going to go up the deck of the ship.
All right, roll me an athletics check, please, Aaron. But you have to roll me a normal one.
Because you're tired.
Yeah.
You're a little sleepy.
Sleepy.
Been a hell of a day.
I rolled a disadvantage, didn't I? I did.
This was a normal for you. You Eric.
No.
Got him.
All right, it was almost the average. So, you happy with your 8 against your stormwater? Actually, it's calm water now, but still, you happy with your 8?
Not really, but I also have swim speed, so I'm not really worried about it.
Okay. So you make your way. I'm just trying to get you to absorb your points. You make your way swimming around past the others. It's one of those things where as the others are trying to like grab at you or claw at you, kind of gaining their senses if they're not drowning or whatever at the moment, you kick them out of the way, or you actually use them to climb over them to, move a little bit faster, and you make your way out of the ship. Because your swim speed is like pirate swim speed. It's not like, oh, I've won, an Olympic race, against Michael Phelps. No, I use somebody else's head
It's as fast as I can
as a
walk.
kickboard. So,
It's a magical item.
yeah. But it's
Yeah.
because you're a pirate.
All right. It's a magical item, though. It's a ring.
So, so it's a pirate.
Pirate
ring.
ring.
Sorry.
Pirate
Got a
hold the
skull
head in
on
the
it.
water. It's like,
Sure.
blub, 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 blub. What's that old song? I'd like to hold your head underwater. No. So
That's a horrible song if that exists.
it is. It's
Yeah,
I would look
It's-
up
it's,
whoever made
Sublime.
that song because they might
Yeah.
be in.
It's
they might be
Sublime. Yeah,
murdering
Sublime.
people.
he's
Fine.
dead. DED
He
dead.
might have murdered people while he was alive. That doesn't change things.
Wow, that's racist.
Is it against the dead? I guess we are playing D&D.
Moving on. So you make your way to the level above on the ship. Nobody's there to stop you because they all got swept by the water in the bottom deck. You continue running your way out, Aaron.
Yeah.
Reich, what are you doing?
I am going to try to get myself the hell out of here as well. I need to find someplace to be safe because I know at this point that if I take one more hit, I'm down. And that could easily be the death of me in this situation. So, I would like to get back up to the top deck too.
Okay, so roll me a perception check, please.
Alright.
Disadvantage because you're poisoned.
Oh no. My body is pain.
Okay, so you saw Kyrann swim her way around.
Alright, so I'm going to try to swim after her.
Okay, you go right ahead, and you swim after Kyrann. Roll me your athletics with disadvantage, which you did. And you're able to swim your way around as well. Long arms, long legs, more or less grabbing onto things and pulling yourself or kicking yourself as opposed to just straight swimming. But you do easily swim yourself out and out of the water. You know, you're dripping wet in all of your garb, but you're a monk, who cares? Just get naked. And then you run naked after Kyrann. What? Fanfic? And Stalbor, you see N's head pop back out in the ocean water, like by the outside of the ship, because N just kind of swam through her bubble, and is now starting to climb up the rope back up the side of the ship. Do you say anything to N? N can't hear you. Maybe there's something in his ear. Hold on.
Are they coming? He's in the water, you know.
Yeah, that's what it was.
N's drowning.
N calls after, running up the stairs.
Great. I guess I'll just rev up the ship.
Make me a perception check, please, Stalbar.
With pleasure.
Normal roll for you.
Yeah.
Arrow after arrow after arrow, hitting the same spots. The ring, the strut that holds the ring of fire, is hitting the same one over and over and over again. It's starting to spurt and spit. It's starting to give off little shocks and whatnot from it.
I sure hope he's counting his arrows.
You see the little bursts of fire coming out here and there,
okay.
And it reminds you of something that you saw once before on an airship some time ago.
Okay.
Bellum wasn't there for that though, so you know.
That's fine actually.
Okay.
I want to point out that thing's gonna rampage, and we are like right above a metropolis.
Mm-hmm.
No, Adaport's not a metropolis.
It's a city.
Oh, that's right. It's a city. Yeah.
Yeah,
We're right above a city.
I was always imagining the dock was fairly quiet here, but actually, now you think about it, it definitely isn't.
Also, is this a fire elemental?
It is.
Fire
Yes.
elemental.
Yeah, it's gonna fall right into the water.
It can fly.
It can fly. We'll deal with that when we have to.
I'm pretty sure fire elementals can't fly. They can jump.
With what legs?
Yeah, that's racism.
I guess it literally is. But yeah, I'll just wait for them to get up. I can't do anything until otherwise.
Is that planarism?
Yes.
You planarist.
All right. So, anyways.
Good word, actually.
Drink your Haterade.
So you guys are continuing on. You are watching that happening overhead. Do you just stand there, Stalbor?
I'm waiting for them to get up here so I can
Kyrann
fly them
bursts
up.
through.
As soon as I see Kyrann, I point to the ring and I say, "Break it."
Scott, how bad of an idea is that?
And you know if you break it, then you lose that ship.
Yeah, that's true, and I really don't want to do that.
But you also know that
What's
the Thorian's
on
on
the
the
ship?
ship.
We
Just
don't know.
the Thorian?
We
The
didn't
Thorian.
get time to count.
Just the Thorian?
Oh, do you say that to us?
For
Yeah.
people, the
Oh,
only
I
thing that you know
say-
for a fact is Thorian. You can
I say-
guess your crew.
I said, the Thorian is on the ship. You break the ring, the ship crashes, the elemental goes batshit. It's a plant monster. It's a fire elemental. It's the best chance we have at destroying it because I'm out of magic and Reich's out of blood. Bellum's running out of
Not
arrows.
quite yet.
He's only got 15 left.
There's
14.
the last of it.
He's running out.
Alright, I'm gonna cast fly.
Bellum pulls in the
I'm
quiver
gonna
out
go
of
to
his
the ship.
boot.
I mean, you don't have to cast fly. We have this boat.
Yeah.
She casts
You-
fly.
Fly.
It's more dramatic.
And I go up.
Okay.
I'm also
You're
not gonna
like, don't worry,
attack
I've
you,
got this.
like, right.
Okay, we'll meet you.
I kind of was waiting to give you a ride. That's okay.
Wright comes running through the doorway because he moves quickly. Running through the doorway right as she casts fly and starts flying upwards.
I'm just like I'm like stumbling over using the wall as like to keep me up. I'm so fucking injured at this point. I look at him and I say, well, I'm gonna close the door behind me because there's still people down there, and I don't want to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to just say, we need to prepare ourselves. We don't know how much time it's going to take her. Let's hope not long.
I will start preparing him a healing elixir then.
I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna draw my bow back up as far as I can and just hold it just so I can fire on the door if it opens.
It's a Oh, you mean people coming back upstairs?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. So, are you gonna go up, Stalbor, or are you gonna stay down in this boat with Reich?
Now that she's kind of on her own, I guess I'm staying here.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep
I'll stay here at least until N gets here anyway.
We're gonna keep
He's
yeah, N will get to you in just moments then.
Yeah, exactly.
But one of the things that you actually notice is right as N is kind of climbing over the ledge of the ship, you might even be kind enough to like give N a hand to help them get up. You actually see another crew member's head bop out from under the water in the ocean, and then another one too, as like the rest of the crew maybe followed N's lead, or maybe just were smarter than Reich and went through the bubble and are coming up that way. But they are all House Lyrandar members. So they are familiar with this kind of magic on a boat. So
yeah, I'll just, while sort of magicking a healing elixir and pouring magic into the bottle, just be like, get them all on here.
I'm gonna throw a rope overboard to.
Yeah, well we're right.
While your arrow is knocked, you're gonna kick a rope off the ledge.
Well, I'll unknock my arrow.
He is a monk. It's not unreasonable.
Yeah. Fuck you, it's D&D. I throw both the arrow and the bow in the air, kick the rope off, and then catch them both perfectly knocked in my hands. Don't even, son.
You already used your saving grace, so instead you shoot somebody. No.
Yeah,
so...
no! But in all seriousness, I'm just gonna... I'll unknock the arrow, I'm gonna throw them the rope.
Of course, and help them up as Stalbor is making you a healing potion. Of course.
Yeah.
So you get everybody up onto the to the boat. There are too many people to fit them all on the little longboat here, but that doesn't really matter so much because other people have already taken the idea that you have without even your direction and are going to protect against people that might be coming through that doorway, shutting the doorway and locking it and stuff like that. Down below, which is already filled up a good amount with water. The fact that it's been filled up with water is actually something that was very noticeable because Stalbor, that whole ship actually dropped down by a couple of feet.
You're in perfect
it's still
place.
Up, but you were still here. Yeah, so you're like,
There is a point when Stalbor hands Reich the potion, which is just the regular 2d4 plus 2. He goes, "Oh, I should really fix that, otherwise Kyrann will kill me."
I snicker and I say, I think we're gonna have bigger problems.
Kyrann, you fly up and you see Bellum. He's got a handful of arrows left, and he's knocking one. You can't even count how many arrows he shot into this thing. He's like, he sees something flying up and reflexively aims an arrow at you, realizes it's you, and reflexively aims the bow back up and takes a shot at the thing. You've seen this sight before, Kyrann. Mm-hmm. You've seen it before.
Did he break it?
Oh, it's fucked. It's not completely broken, but it's only the one that he's been shooting. There are depending on the airship, 3 or 4 that hold these things in place. This airship has 3.
All right, so I'm gonna get as close to it as possible. Without like being like within reach of the Thorian, if I can see that.
The Thorian is in the heart of the ship itself.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to cast a chromatic orb. We'll do first level.
You're gonna hit the thing. What kind of damage is this?
Fire.
Fire damage at
into the elemental. Yep. No, into the ring.
You trying to like fire the fire?
Yeah, I'm trying to bolster it.
Gotcha.
Okay.
As it were, and I'm going to say in Primordial, it's like, help us defeat the being on the ship, and we will let you free. Like, let's go. And rile it up a little more.
Okay, that because you're more or less giving an ultimatum or making a deal. That's technically going to be an intimidation as opposed to a diplomacy.
It's usually how it works with Kyrann.
There's no diplomacy roll in D&D 5e, so that's very convenient. Otherwise, we'd just be lost in the ether.
What do I roll?
Am I lost in the ether? What happened there?
I was. It's sitting at a 17. That usually Kyrann just throws d6s after that.
I do usually.
Oh, that's true.
And you know what? I will. Why not?
That
Whatever.
actually genuinely
Hey, Jay, I
messed
don't
with my
care.
head a little bit.
So you hurl the thing at it and you start yelling at it. It doesn't respond. For good or bad, it doesn't respond to you. Okay, so Bellum is like Bellum looks at the fact that you threw fire at the fire, and he looks at you like you're an idiot, and he's like he's like points at the actual strut itself.
Care about the strut.
Do you say anything back to him, or you just ignore him?
Her face speaks more than words ever could.
Yeah. I ignore him and I continue doing what I'm doing. I'll throw another spell at it,
Okay, go right ahead.
and I will continue to try to rile up the fire elemental, saying we're gonna let you free regardless because I don't have any other options.
All right, now it's more of begging, so it's gonna be more of a persuasion check.
I mean, it doesn't really matter. I think they're the same. Yeah, the exact same.
Are they though?
I don't know.
If you're hoping at a 20 tier, there's still a 1 in 6 chance you can get it.
Let's go for it. Why not? It's a 2. 16.
Okay.
Fine.
So you no, 16 is not bad at all. Not a 20, but it's not bad. So you are trying to convince the thing to want to help you of its own accord. As you're like calling this out and bolstering the thing up, you actually see the ring is moving. Before it was like, as I said, it was kind of doing little bursts and whatnot. As the strut finally finishes breaking, he knocks his second to last arrow and he fires it. It hits the strut. The thing bursts apart in different pieces. A bunch of the arrows fall into the ground. Other ones still stuck into it. You can now see that the elemental is still bound inside of it. But now as the elemental is moving in the ring around, it's not like one solid ring that moves. It's moving intermittently, like almost like a broken ring that's spurting around. And parts of the ring are thinner and parts of it are thicker. And definitely the tail end of the longest portion is whipping around like a loose tail, causing like things to burst, fire, and whatnot on top of the ship itself. However, with both of the other struts still in perfect condition, it seems to still be contained.
Fine, I'll go after those struts.
That's, you can also see that it's whipping its tail around, and its thickness is like forced into the thin thing because you've been bolstering it. You can also see that that's also doing damage to the first of the two struts after the broken one, if you understand my description.
It's like the ring is designed for a certain strength and you're overloading it.
Correct.
Right.
I guess what you're doing is a slower plan than just break it.
Well, not necessarily. It's just a different way of going about it. But
want the elemental to do what we want it to do
Of course.
after.
It makes
this
sense.
case.
Yeah. Hers is multifaceted plan. His is just break it.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, mine was just break it as well. Orcs and elves, they're not so
Well,
different in the end.
I mean,
In the beginning, though, quite
I'll
different.
tell you that's either of them.
second level chromatic orb.
Oh, I thought that was a 20.
I know, right?
So close. Unfortunately, the DC is a 10 because that's the average to hit anything. So.
Okay, fine. Well, then I roll a d6. There.
Okay, well then you hit. Cool. Do you damage, and you're
Thanks for
hitting
letting me know
the
what the DC is.
elemental
Yeah.
again.
Mhm.
Okay, so fire damage, and
Yeah.
your Oh, let's get some question marks. So fire damage. That's a lot of fire damage. All of a sudden, you see the thing swell up, and as the tail is whipping around, it's actually setting the deck of the ship on fire and whatnot. And the first of the struts. So again, there was 1, 2, and the third one underneath 4 that were holding the thing. He shot out this one over here, so more or less the elemental would run in the circle. And after he shot at this one here, it would be like forced into its normal stream during this little gap of space here going through the struts. And then it would kind of come out this way and burst outwards and make all these different shapes. And the tail end, as it came out, was whipping around. So the strut on the far side of the ship is taking the abuse as too thick of a fire ring is being forced into it, right? So it's doing abrasive damage against that, as well as the tail itself whipping around and smashing and harming the thing. Bellum has 1 arrow left, and he's on his carpet, flying as quickly as he can over to the other side of the ship to set up to, you know, shoot the arrow over there. Kyrann, you can get 1 more shot off before he's able to get there. What do? You bolster it one last time?
1 more. Yeah, I have 1 more first level spell, so why not?
Sure.
There you go.
Oh my god! Oh my god, so Bellum goes over, knocking his last arrow. He pulls it back as his carpet's flying into place. He's not accustomed to like shooting on the fly yet. So, you know, brings the carpet to a stop, finishes lining up his shot, and goes to take him when all of a sudden the elemental itself, it's just too large of a peg and way too small of a hole, bursts the thing open from the inside, just shatters outwards. And as soon as the second one bursts, the elemental itself is like whipping around as it's forced into the third and final strut. As it's going around that third and final strut, that thing bursts open as well, but not before most of it is able to be forced through, giving it that rounded upward momentum again. So as the elemental is burst free from the strut, it's already being launched back up into the air and is swirling around in this crazy firestorm for a few moments before it lands crashing down on the actual main deck of the airship up above. And with that, we take our first break. So we will see you all in just a couple of minutes, and hopefully this time when we pick back up, we'll actually pick back up where we put it down. Bye-bye. Hello, everybody, and welcome back. We are back now. Hi, everybody. All right, so where were we? I believe we had a fire elemental bursting onto the deck of the airship, and oh shit, is it pissed? As a matter of fact, the first thing it sees from the deck of the airship, excuse me, are well, something, and so it's going for that something. That something being two of the crew, Mia and Savellum, and so it's charging at them as quickly as it possibly can. Erin, initiative.
Fuck. Should I be rolling that with disadvantage as well?
Technically, I don't think so. I don't think so because it doesn't say specifically, because that's not an ability check, and it didn't say initiative check, so I do not believe so.
I don't think so, no.
Ollie, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. I'm giving you control of Bellum. Could you roll Bellum's initiative for me?
I have so many characters. Like, nearly all the characters I've had control of at some point.
In this game?
Oh, where's... Yeah.
Oh. Bellum should be in your turn.
Yeah, I just had to find his token.
Okay. Cool. So, wait, that's funny. It says Stalbor. Oh, probably because, yeah, no, it's because it's at the bottom of the screen.
Old Stalbor. Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's fine. So, so you roll an 11 initiative. Now let me roll for the fire elemental. 1 second. Oh, shit. Why is it being weird? Here we are. Click, damn you, click. And there. Okay. Submit. I rolled, a 17. So it goes rushing forward at them as quickly as it can, rushing at both Savellum and Mia. As it rushes at them, it reaches out with its hands to try to grab at them. The quicker of the two happens to be Savellum, and so Savellum actually grabs Mia. You know, her being younger and still annoying and learning and whatnot, and he actually does the chivalrous thing and shoves her off to the side and back, leaving him completely open for the attacks of the fire elemental, and it does do just that. Hopefully it rolls garbage because it does get 2 attacks, and fire elementals are not very friendly. So I'm just gonna name this thing right here. I'm gonna name you Savellum. Alright, and I'm going to attack you, Savellum. Bam. The first attack actually misses Savellum. It does roll garbage and misses Savellum, so it does not hurt at all. However, the second attack, not only is it a hit, but it's a devastating hit for the total of 12 points of damage. Over in your little character sheet thing there, Erin, you can see Savellum actually has 9 health points. So 12 points of damage is enough to drop him on his ass. Yep. So Savellum is actually charred up, fucked up, and dropped as Mia was thrown to the side and stumbling and continues like trying to run to get away. Immediately after you is going to be Bellum's turn. Bellum is actually going to take his carpet and is going to fly as quickly as he can over towards Mia to try to gather her up to get her out of there to safety. To make that happen, Stalbor or Ollie, could you please roll Bellum's acrobatics check for me, please, as he's trying to fly with maneuvering. He's not injured or anything, so he has no disadvantage and stuff. 14. Are you comfortable with that 14, or would you like to...
I don't know if I can morally use Will's action points. So, yes. He's going by luck only, baby.
Okay. So just on that, not luck with a hint of luck, just luck?
Just luck.
Swoops and tries and flies, and he does a pretty good job, but it's not enough to quite make his way to her just yet. Kyrann, it's your turn. What do you do?
I'm going to try to move towards Savellum and heal check him if I can. This turn.
Okay. You're going to try to fly. You can easily fly to him. However, he's on the ground at the feet of the fire elemental. Are you going to go and fly
That's
to
fine.
the feet of the fire elemental?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a feeling it's
Can
going to
I-
end poorly.
No, it'll be fine. With my -1 to medicine.
There is that's technically stable, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you're stable. He's stable. That's good news. And after you is going to bring us back to that fire elemental, who is now has you at his feet. He looks down at you, and he goes to swing at you.
Mhm.
Roll me a charisma check. Flat charisma.
dear.
When he goes to swing at you, he looks down at you, and he realizes who you are as you like look back up at him with your pissed off Kyrann face, your RBF. You look back up at him, and he's like, "Oh, that girl." So he comes to the realization of like who you are mid swing, and doesn't follow through. Chooses not to, and instead uses like, because he's comprised of fire, he just becomes this like a little arc of fire that bounces over you and Savellum's body, just like, and gets onto legs and starts like moving forward with like patches of fire around, starting to consume the ship behind him as he's moving after Mia and trying to get to her. Unfortunately, fire elementals move very, very, very quickly. Mia also moves very quickly. She was able to double move, so she was actually able to kind of like widen the gap between her and him. So there's not an issue of like necessarily, she would eventually be able to get away, but not at this point. And so he's gonna get one attack against her. Oh, where are you? Come on, girl. All right, so one attack against her. Let's do this. Bam. It's gonna be devastating. Actually, not even joking. I rolled fucking garbage again, and this would have been 15 damage, which would have been horrible. So, with a huge plus chance to hit, I rolled garbage, just barely misses her. The way we're going to describe this is she's running and trying to get away, and he reaches out to grab at her and just start boiling her skin and singeing and setting her clothes aflame and killing her, which he could easily do in one touch, and he rolled a crap ton of damage. But as he reaches out to grab her, Bellum, who's been flying, charging at the thing as quickly as he could with the flying carpet, reaches out just enough to grab hold of her fingers, so it's like a tips of fingers grasp, and pulls her as hard as he can onto the carpet, so she like flops onto the carpet down by him, and he just continues beelining it away from the thing as it's reaching behind him and trying to claw at the carpet as well. But Bellum is once again able to kind of like fly just out of the thing's reach, so the carpet doesn't even get singed, and he's just going right off the far side of the ship, going the width of the ship as opposed to the length. Kyrann, this leaves you over Savellum, who's stable on the ground, and the thing in front of you that chose not to attack you for whatever reason.
I mean, if oh, shit, I have to get what's it off the ship that's gonna fall to the ground. So I will grab Savellum and its unconscious body, and I will bring him back towards the bull.
So you just like grab him and vacate?
Yeah, I can just leave him to die here. Yeah.
Awesome. So you just go grab him up, and as the thing kind of starts like raging and storming around and just smashing at the ground and smashing and setting things aflame. Just as a reminder to viewers at home, not all fire elementals are these crazy rage monsters that just like to bash things and whatnot. You have to remember this is a large or huge size fire elemental that's been forced and contained into this tiny little crystal prison, like prison, right, for a very long period of time. And so finally being released after being forced to work like a slave 24/7 every day for who knows how many years. No breaks, no stopping whatsoever. After all of that, it finally gets released. It's just going nuts and just starting to destroy everything around it as it's trying to seek some sort of revenge or solace for what's happening. Now, Kyrann, you do grab Savellum and do fly off the side of the ship with your fly spell still on you, and Bellum does have her. Bellum will gladly bring the carpet round to where you are to collect the two of you, and all four of you can comfortably rest on top of the carpet because of the
I mean, I'm
size
probably
of it.
gonna go back up to make sure the ship goes down.
Sure. So you meet up with Bellum, and as you place Savellum down on the ground by Bellum's feet, Bellum just kind of gives you one of those looks like, don't worry, I got him. Even though Bellum's actually never met this guy before, and you're aware that Bellum's never met this guy, he can clearly see there's some sort of connection between you and them. Obviously, they're your crew. And so he gives you that look like, don't worry. And even though you don't know Bellum, and you don't trust Bellum, how do you feel in this moment?
I think I actually trust Bellum more than anybody on this crew right now. To be honest.
Okay.
Reich actively told me not to trust him. Stalbor obviously doesn't. I'm the only one giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Okay. So
I let him go.
So you give him that like so he gives you that affirmative nod as William's characters always nod. They nod a lot. They're kind of just like reminds you of Animaniacs. So they put those things there and they just sit there, you know, talk about. So if you don't know what Animaniacs are, get good. So you.
That's not an answer.
It is. So you.
I'm just gonna point that out.
So you fly back up to the ship. What you see up there is the monster is raging and smashing and whatnot, going at it, is attacking the thing. What do you do?
I am just gonna observe, I guess, and make sure things are going well. Make sure the ship's going down. Make sure it's attacking the Thorian. And I really can't do much more than that, to be honest. I have one spell slot left and 3 sorcery points. Granted, that spell slot is a 4th level spell slot.
Ooh.
So I could do something with it. I could cast a Storm Sphere. It's actually not a bad idea. But it's stationary in the sky, so if the ship goes down, then it's not entirely useful. But why not? Just to make sure things go well.
Just to fuck up the day of.
Just to fuck up,
So
yeah.
so where do you
Perfect.
want to cast? Because you get a pretty good range to where it appears, but it's also
I do.
a 40-foot diameter spell. So where do you want it to appear?
Can I do like inside the ship as it is right now?
So you sticking to the
it'll
far
fall.
side so the ship can't hit you. You kind of like fly up and arc around so you can look down into that hole where the Thorian had burrowed its way in. And you just like, you just throw the Storm Sphere down into the hole. Describe your casting of this spell, because it's the first time you've done it intentionally.
I mean, honestly, it's the same as Kyrann casts any spell. She starts chanting in a language she doesn't fully understand. It's primordial. It just comes from a feeling. It's gut, and it's very, very roaring and boisterous. And a storm appears.
Okay, so you throw that the steam down there like you've done before, and the steam just kind of starts turning black and erupting with, booming, thunderous, booming thunder, thunderous noises happening within it as it darkens and gets darker and it's wider and larger. And then little bolts of lightning start shocking around and there's howling winds within it, blah, 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 blah. That's within the ship itself. You can imagine what kind of chaos this is. You actually see that causes a reaction as you hear smashing. Despite the booming sound, you can hear smashing of wood and splintering of wood happening down there. And you don't think that it's happening because of the actual thunderous noises, the lightning doing this. You think something else is causing that smashing. You imagine the Thorian just got smashed to this thing and it's trying to get itself away. What do you do now?
Bonus action, lightning bolt with the storm sphere.
Into the storm sphere?
No, the storm sphere itself creates.
Oh, sure. So you just choose a random direction.
Yeah. So I just downwards.
Sure.
The ship. Other than that, no, not much more I can do. I'm gonna keep following the ship down.
Okay.
And eyeballing it.
So you follow the ship down. So the thing is starting to go down and into the water, and unfortunately, so the Thorian is trying to get away from the storm that's happening there, and now the fire elemental that's seeing kind of like that it's going to go down into water. The fire elemental tries to go and take cover. It's not very smart, especially after its prison that it was in before. Tries to take cover within the ship itself. So it actually goes over to where that hole is and jumps into it to take some cover inside there. You imagine they're going to come across each other sometime soon. But as the ship continues to go lower and lower and lower down towards the water, you actually hear the Thorian smashing through the bottom of the boat itself to drop out of it. And Stalbor, you down below are able to look up, and this is Reich as well, are able to look up and see the bottom of the ship smash open. Oh, it's exposed down below as the thing is coming down towards the water very close to it, is all of a sudden tentacles and whatnot smashing through the ship.
I wish I still had my camera.
Huh.
And that's all Stalbor can say and do in this situation.
That's a selfie situation.
Ah. I will fly the ship and all the peeps on it that I can get to safety just further away.
Woo!
For the upcoming splash, so just like up and away a little further.
Sure. So you don't want to take any actions? How about you, Reich? I mean, take any aggressive actions. How about you, Reich?
There's nothing we could do.
No, I'm staying out of the fucking way.
Sure. And so the Kyrann, you're just kind of watching this thing as it comes crashing down and into the water. However, the Thorian is not stupid. It doesn't move quickly, but it's not stupid, so it actually is going to use its tentacles to climb itself out of the ship itself. And where it allows itself to drop into the water, it drops as close to the shore as is possible.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to move up towards it, and I'm going to chromatic orbit with lightning. It's in water. It's my last first level spell. My last spell, actually.
Okay, you're able to, in this scenario, you're able to hit that with the chromatic orb. And do your lightning damage to it. So you do shock it for the lightning damage. Yep.
I am going to bonus
the water
action.
all around. Yep.
Create a second level spell slot. And I'm out of sorcery points, by the way, if anybody's curious.
Yep. Okay.
I have one spell slot left.
Perfect. And so after that, Ollie and Eric, is there anything you're doing at this point? You're still just staying the fuck out of the way, staying to safety. Yep.
No.
Seeing Kyrann shoot at it as it's falling into the water / climbing in onto the shore, I will position the ship so it's like my ship, so it's like over the land, close to the ground, and so that I'm in range. And then I'll magic missile it if I can, but if I need another turn for that, then I will. Depends if you want me for moving last turn or this turn.
Nope, that's fine. You position the ship and do all that stuff. That's perfectly fine.
I'll just give it 2 shots with my short bow. No reason not to.
Sure.
So can I magic missile this turn or no?
Yes, you can. Go right ahead.
Nice. Not many of these left.
I think I finally fixed those timers from Nightbot that have been wrong for ages.
Nightbot's just not working like anywhere.
It's still
Does the
technically
first one hit
beta.
at all?
First one does not hit.
Another hit.
So do you want to use an action point to hit? Because you already know the AC if you forgot it.
No, I forgot the AC, but I don't really.
So just
My
cinematic
arrow's not gonna do much damage.
shots at it. I gotcha. So you do that, and Stalbar throws his magic missile, does 8 points of damage to the thing. But the most telling thing that happens here is as this thing starts crashing into the water, the fire elemental itself goes into the as the water starting to come up from the bottom of the ship as it's crashing in. It's like, I don't want to be on this burning ship that's going into water. And it starts trying to climb out to the ship as quickly as it can. Again, it's very large size, so it's not like a little person scrambling. It's grabbing parts of the ship and pulling itself out from the holes that have been put into the roof of the ship as it was smashing it, as the Thorian dug into it and whatnot. And pulls itself to the actual top deck of the ship and the back end of the ship that is not quite underwater yet. And as it's standing there, not quite in the water yet as the thing is sinking under, it sees the Thorian splashing off to the side, and with all of its might, it throws itself forward with this huge fire elemental leap across as much water as it possibly can and splashes into the water over by the Thorian, where it then kind of like grabs onto one of the tentacles that were pushing back at it and pulls itself towards the Thorian, and the two of them just start smashing and pulling at each other. The tentacles trying to grind into the elemental, but the elemental itself smashing into and setting ablaze the Thorian. The little fight, the skirmish that happens between the two of them doesn't last very long. 30 seconds or less before finally all the tentacles fall limp, before the Thorian just completely stops. At this point in time, the crew that were still on the ship and holding the door shut that had the mind-controlled people trying to smash against the thing, they all just start screaming. Before they're screaming in like anger and anguish and whatnot. Now they're screaming in pain, just raw pain, and then silence. Just pure silence. As they fall still on the other side of the door that, again, the crew was holding shut. Unfortunately, the fire elemental is in the middle of saltwater ocean and has been injured by the Thorian. It is not doing very well.
I mean, if it dies, that's kind of convenient, isn't it?
It's really the only person that can act, I guess, is Kyrann.
Yeah, did we
Stalbar, you can speak.
Card and just kill this thing?
I can't speak Primordial, also I assume it's murderous. Actually, I wouldn't be assuming that. That was better than that.
It's probably just gonna keep murdering people.
I cast Shape Water to make an ice block beneath it so that it won't fall into the water, which means that our ship is going to start taking on water again. Because I can't maintain both.
So you want to try to save the elemental?
You can maintain both. You realize?
So
No,
you can have two shaped waters at a time.
I
already used two.
She used two to like stop the huge hole that was down there. Stalbar, you see what she did, and you instantly understand the ramifications of it for two reasons. One, you know magic, you're wicked smart. And two, the ship starts to sink again. Which is...
All right, at that point, I turn my little dinghy around, and I yell to the crew that are still on my part of the ship and the ones on the top. It's like, everyone help get the water off the ship. I can fix it. I just need a little help. And then I'll parking brake, get on the ship, get down below.
So they start doing exactly what you said, and they're going to try to get the water out of it. Unfortunately, none of them are casters, so none of them have a magical means to do it. So it's literally going to be a line of buckets to pull it out.
You know what? That's fine.
But they understand emergency scenarios, so it's not like they do like one line of buckets all the way up from the bottom floor to the top floor. They actually go over to where the water is and to where it's usually above the water, and they grab axes and they start smashing through the wall to the area that's usually above water, and they make two much shorter lines to pass buckets up and throw it out the newly made hole in the wall that they just did to try to get water out.
Starboard wouldn't have been able to tell them to do that.
At the same time, though, you do have who usually would be Savellum, because he's the first mate now. Unfortunately, can't be him. So it falls to Mia, who now must take planks of wood and bring them down to where the huge hole is. The issue is they're really large planks of wood. It's just to bring them down to where the huge hole is and try to arrange them with 2 nails, one on either side, to just try to reduce the flow of water coming in.
Yeah, my intent obviously is to mending it, but yeah, you can mend a hole the size of 1 foot, and I imagine it's ish, but slightly bigger, and there's multiple of them.
It's bigger.
So, but I mean,
she had to use 2 shaped waters to. It's bigger.
But you know, they were opened by bodies that aren't large. But
I still have 1 shape water in effect.
So I imagine it's possible to help them so that when they have to use less plank.
So more or less, you're like, hey, lazy asses, get off my ship, and you want to like lower down, and so as she's like doing the plank thing, you can kind of assist her with a combination of using your mending and your big old muscles.
Yeah, I used my staff to hammer in the nails.
Your magic.
When you're this strong, it doesn't matter.
Oh. Okay, so you use your staff to hammer in the nails, and you guys are able to start working on that thing to get it going. This is a long, far-fetched plan. Reich, what are you doing in this scenario? Are you just helping with the buckets?
Yeah, at this point, I don't really have much else I can help with, so I'm just helping to bail out water.
Okay. You're gonna Reich, throw me a acrobatics check. Don't forget, you're poisoned.
Question, Mr. DM man.
But that doesn't matter. Despite the poison,
I rolled like fucking crazy.
Because you just, I'm just gonna fucking do this anyways. Stalwart, what's your question?
Can the unseen servant help in any way in this?
Unseen
it can do
servants...
simple tasks and isn't super strong. It's got a strength of 2, so
yeah, 2.
So as much as this is a simple task, I think it's just too weak to help.
No, that's like not entirely true. Not your task, but think unseen servant like Fantasia. You know what I mean? Like with the buckets.
No, yeah, I get it. I mean, if that would help, I can do that with my staff. I can create an unseen servant.
Yeah, and it'll
so I
help
think I'd do
buckets.
that.
Yeah. Some ghost is handing us buckets of water. That way nobody has to get their boots wet. It's the actual bucket down below.
Look, they've been around me for months. At this point, the crew doesn't care.
Like, any of you die so I can turn your bodies into... Yeah. So they start doing that. Mind you, the people that you had to make your way through to set up this plan to get this working, they're all catatonic right now. They're all seemingly brain dead, standing or sitting or kneeling or lying wherever they were when they just froze.
They're a later problem.
Yeah.
When the ship isn't sinking, we'll deal with that.
That's a tomorrow problem.
I got a plan. It's a very emotionate, compassionate plan. It's definitely not the plan of a murder hobo.
Could you, Stalwart, roll me your athletics check?
Does your plan also involve 20 cinder blocks and a lot of rope?
My plan involves just dumping them on the port with a note and leaving.
Kyrann, you made a block of ice for a fire elemental to stand on so he doesn't fall into water.
It's not the best plan, but it's what I got.
Yeah, it's certainly not a plan that lasts very long.
No, so my stage 2 of the plan is going to be to cast Gust, like as we're standing on the ice platform, and you like propel us towards the shore.
I see what you're trying to do there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're obviously keeping your distance from this thing, so we can't like just rage hit you. And so you're going to start throwing the gust. Fun thing, when you throw a gust of wind at a fire elemental, it causes flare-ups. Like, okay, so you're making your way closer to the shore, and pretty darn close to it, just going with that, what is it, line of 30 feet to use a push you? Push 10 feet from you, instantaneous, range 30. So 10 feet away, close to the shore, 10 feet in water is pretty far. Oh, it's a cantrip, that's right. I was thinking like what's the other spell called?
Gust of Wind.
Gust of Wind.
No, I don't have spell slots left.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Actually, no, I have second level spell.
Yeah. So anyways, so you do that a few times to get you towards the shore, and now you're on the shore. It's not looking good. This thing was also fucked up from still being in the water as you were, you know, pushing it on this ice thing. You were just stopping it from being fully submerged in the water. So it's getting fucked up along the way. This thing is fucked up. You're on the shore. What do you do, Kyrann?
It's on the shore. I'm going to go back to the ship. And I probably say thank you.
So you're just gonna like say thank you, and it's gonna start raging off towards the city.
Okay. Hey, maybe we don't. Could you not rage in the area? Maybe go towards the forest. I don't know.
So you're gonna try to convince it to rage not people but trees?
Not people. Go that way.
Go rage to the trees?
Yeah.
Okay. Why don't you roll me a persuasion check, please? Actually, with advantage, because you did just save its life.
Which should be normal because I'm exhausted.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Rip.
Like, so I go to like move back towards the ship and I say thank you. I turn around, I see it's humbering towards the town. It's like, oh, wait a second. Hey. Could you maybe not kill any of those people? They didn't enslave you. There's a lot of trees that way that you could light on fire. That would be fun.
Sure. And so you just kind of try to direct them that way?
Yeah, like...
Awesome. So, what do you do after it starts raging? It's like... It starts raging off towards the trees instead. Where do you go now?
Back to the ship.
Okay.
That's fine. That's
Okay.
a tomorrow problem.
Yeah, you go back to the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Bellum is there. He's, as I'd already said before, he put down Mia and Savellum, who's unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
Bellum is trying to assist in any way that he can, which is with Reich and the other people pulling out the water.
So not very. I'm gonna go down and shape water on the hole again.
So more or less what
Coming
she
in.
does is she comes down and is able to shape water to stop it enough that they can board the thing up and stop the flow of water. And then they're still doing the bucket thing out, but then Kyrann can literally grab huge bubbles, like a huge bubble of water, and like walk with it and just push this big bubble of water out of that hole that they put into the side of the ship. That while
We should really get another Kyrann on the ship. So
By the way,
useful.
I do like kind of like scold. The other bit, like, you guys put a hole in my ship? Really? You kicked a hole through the ship.
You put the hole on the ship, Missy.
I damaged it.
He just made it bigger and more useful. You're welcome.
Kyrann like is like laughing as she kind of does this.
Yeah.
She's not being told.
It's in jest. Ken Reich surely would laugh if he wasn't missing a lot of blood. He's gone pale, which is very
Yeah.
dramatic for a hobgoblin.
I'm laying against the side like, ha.
you've had a short rest, suddenly all of your wounds are perfectly healed, and you're like,
I feel so much better after an hour.
you're the only one that describes your injuries being as dramatic as they are. Everybody else is like, I stubbed my toe.
I was at 3 life.
When Stalbor gets really hurt.
You were never at 3 life. Had you even used any of your short rest, your HD
You
yet?
didn't say we were short resting ever, so I don't know. I didn't know.
I didn't know we had time for
So if
that.
you have 100 health points and 10 HD, and you drop down to 3 health points, you're not hanging on by a thread because you get all those HD. You're like, I just had a cheeseburger. I feel great.
Yeah, but what if someone punched me in the dick and I just fall unconscious? What, like... So I went from being okay to...
And okay, Aaron doesn't, because Kyrann rarely gets very badly hurt. But one of her characters got really badly hurt, and it was quite dramatic. So, you know, really, it's happened with everyone.
Spoiler, Odette died?
Spoiler alert?
Yeah, spoiler alert.
You can't spoil something from like seasons ago.
We had a long rest. We haven't had any rest at all. Have we? Short rest. I
It's a
mean.
Scott game. You don't get rest.
Yeah, short rest. It's a mechanic that. All right, so
So we fixed the ship. Everything's fine.
no,
I mean,
Okay, on a merry way.
we could have a little rest.
you're
Sail.
able to patch up the ship enough that it is consistently leaking, but it's a manageable. It's like more or less that whole bottom deck is always wet, with like 2 or 3 inches of water, and people have to every few hours get the task of taking buckets of water out. Because it's not like Kyrann, when you guys are finally sailing again, can waste her time doing that because she has to sail.
All right. So I guess I'm gonna round up all the catatonic people and see if they can move with some gentle nudging.
At the moment, they cannot. It's not at that first like hour and a half or so of you guys trying to like finish getting things together. Mind you, there's still a shipwrights here, but you imagine the city is not very happy with you.
I mean,
I was
we can say to
actually
people.
going to talk, like, now that I'm not needed, try and talk to, because that whole thing happened and there's not, like, city guard here right now. I would be trying to bring that up, I guess.
Sure.
I mean, I was gonna go to that woman we talked to before and just hand her over the people, say you're welcome for defeating the monster in the area, and peace.
So you try to get the.
That's what I say to Stalbar, like, by the way.
Yep.
I don't even know who you mean.
The woman that gave the when we first got here.
Yes. The
Yeah.
the
Oh,
guard,
the
the
captain
Outerport
guard.
City Guard, correct.
Yeah,
Outerport, yes.
Yes.
I'm absolutely looking for her.
So yep. So
we can just we can just give her all of these problems.
when you go looking for her off of the dock, you could actually see her and the rest of the guard were all nearby, but out of view, hiding, waiting for an opportunity to attack if they needed to. But they didn't. They completely held back. They did not, they were all there, but did not join in. Who approaches? Is it Stalbor? And who is with Stalbor if that's the case?
Unless anything needs to be
I mean,
done
I
on
would.
the ship, which I mean, imagine a lot does. I'll go with them.
So
we had a
what else?
rapport. So,
Aside
yes.
from Bellum, who's having a
Team
nap.
us.
So you guys let Kyrann come?
Yeah.
Okay. There goes diplomacy. So you guys go walking
No,
up.
no, Karen. There's a lot of important stuff to do on the ship. Why don't you go deal with that, or literally anything?
No, I didn't
Aw.
know what happened.
Dandelion.
Yeah, exactly. We need to explain what happened.
So, Stalbor, as you go walking out looking for them, it's literally one of those things where as you come around a corner, they're all there already waiting for you. And so she
Yeah.
steps forward. She doesn't speak first, though. She lets you.
I stand with my staff in a very wizardy way, kind of a little Gandalfy at this point, actually. And I just start explaining everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, in the forests beyond New Throne was a creature. This creature called the Thorian was enthralling the inhabitants of New Throne. You may have seen them influx into your city, trying to escape New Throne. It was captured by people of one of the universities of Sharn that I absolutely would remember the name of, but I didn't write it down.
Morgrave.
Morgrave University of Sharn. And then...
Who were under instructions to kill us if we intervened.
And the Thorian, we were trying to take care of the Thorian, and it...
Can I, because remember, she was very gruff.
She's
Like the other
very...
one.
rough, yeah.
Can I just...
Feel free to ask questions. It'll be a lot easier if you do.
No questions. I'm just going to interrupt you there. Impending danger that tapped into our politics and our people. You killed it and didn't seem to cost any of our lives.
Well,
There was the
To
one
find
person
living.
that owned a shop at the other city that you had the accusation of killing, but you were found innocent for because the bomb was placed there by accident. So one person died, kind of at your hands.
2 people. It was a mother and her son.
That's right.
This
Two people.
a threat of this level on a thousands of year scale, almost unavoidable.
What I'm trying to get to is, this is adventurer stuff. I've already spoken to the mayor of the city, and while this was happening, because that whole ordeal took a while, and we've agreed if you just take what you can from the harbor so we don't have to deal with as much and leave, we will just give you 10,000 gold.
Can you
Starboard.
fix our ship? Because there's a huge hole in it.
We would
No.
prefer it if you just left
We just
and-
leave as fast as we can.
and take your adventurer stuff with you.
We can do
will-
that.
Yeah, I'll glance back to him and just be like, agreed.
We can do that. Can you give us a couple hours to get all the stuff together?
Hours and boats if you need it.
And can you come get your people on the ship still?
They're linked to that thing, right?
The thing's dead.
Things,
You know,
Things
dead,
dead,
their
they're
pipes
just-
are damaged.
They need help.
I'll be honest with you. We're looking to cauterize the wound here. They're yours.
But we don't want them.
In Elvish, there's just like,
Yeah.
I don't want them.
I roll my eyes and I say, well, then we'll figure out something to do with them. All right, let's get to work here, guys, because I think that we've been in these guys' hair enough.
We've overstayed our welcome.
Also, you're welcome for the stories that you'll tell your children years from now.
This will make a brilliant song.
Do you want Reich's notes on the matter?
I'll no, I as I turn around, I'll say I'll be compiling a report that I can give to you if you'd like.
And then we walk away, and this woman is like, no, please.
I'm gonna go find anyone from the ship that is the least bit handy. I'm going to find all of the crates that we can from the ocean, all the cargo we can, pull the ship on, take the cargo out, and then use the planks to try to repair that, patch that wood, that hole there.
That hole is already being worked on, and you're going to assist with that. So you're going to try to pull any bit of floating crates that you can to the best of
we
your
might as well
ability.
try and get the debris. I was gonna say, if they're gonna give us extra boats and a little bit of extra hand just so we leave faster,
Correct.
we might as well try and get anything that isn't under the water.
Correct.
Yeah.
Why-
It's
And I can
literally
help.
casting lines, dragging the big
Yeah,
floating
exactly.
crates over, allowing them to flop onto your ship, and then leave it alone.
Yeah, that's pretty much how we're gonna spend our time until we're ready to go.
So yeah, you guys get your things together and just fuck off.
Fix the ship up so it can work and fuck off. Yeah.
Sounds great. All right, so with that, why don't we take our next break? Because we're actually going to be able to skip ahead a little bit to you guys just being out in the waters, and you're going to be able to describe to me what you do with those people during the meanwhile. So we'll get to that as we come back from our break. So we'll see you all in a few minutes, okay? See you in 5. Bye.
Yeah.
That's 5, Eric, not 45. Hello, and welcome back. Or, realistically, what I should say is, welcome to Chapter 4, Eye of the Storm, because realistically, the end of last hour was the end of last chapter, and that's kind of how it all played out. So,
We did it.
now we're actually technically opening the new campaign in this
You didn't
1
make a
hour.
mistake with the layout.
Hmm?
You didn't make a mistake with the layout. You were just delaying it.
That's right. That's how it all
High five.
plays. So I'm probably gonna. I was just saying to Ollie, I'm probably gonna release it on YouTube just like that. Like this 1 hour is the new campaign. All right. So, anyways, doesn't matter. What do we do with the catatonic peeps?
I have an answer for you,
Oh God.
but it would be after like a day of sailing.
Sure.
So
Let them die of
I assume
starvation and thirst, and then
I assume we'd
turn into
round them
corpses.
up and have someone feed them, but I need rest so I have magic and a brain.
We're gonna feed them.
One of us is exhausted, one of us is poisoned, and I'm just sleepy. You know, so we need a day of rest. We need a night of rest, at least. So what I would do would happen the next day after starting to sail away.
Actually, what would be like, N? I haven't slept in 2 days. Reich is poisoned. Can you please fix us?
Stalbor, you actually need to do me a favor and roll me a Constitution save.
That's
dear.
worrying. I don't think I've done anything that constitutes Constitution. But I guess I'm dead now.
You're not dead. However, you do wake up the next day, like, oh God, you don't know what beat the shit out of you the day beforehand, but you just feel parched. You just feel like grossly dehydrated. Like you wake up reaching for a canteen of water, which doesn't have any in it, so you have to like make your way to the bucket. And it's like as you're like reaching and making your way to the water, you like look down at your hands. You're always corpsey looking, but your hands are like super dried and cracking.
I'm the only person who would notice that I look worse.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying? Yeah.
Yeah.
Stalbor will groan, make his way to Kyrann, which isn't very far.
You actually
and just be
suffer 1 level of exhaustion, just so you're aware.
like, I'll just go. It was like, I think I caught whatever those creatures had.
This should be cured by now.
You can't tell? I look
And-
terrible.
You look fine. As always. Right? N?
Something's wrong, and I know it.
N was exhausted from just trying to save the ship,
I can fix it. I can fix it.
and all sorts of
N?
fucked up. So
It's just I
You
was
go
kind
and,
of
like-
planning.
knock on N's door,
Mm-hmm.
and N's like, ugh. N's door being your door, right? Because you guys snuggle up.
Yeah, so that this whole conversation happens in the same room
Mhm.
because we're all in.
Oh, but
the
no,
same room.
I thought N demanded her own space.
She did.
Okay.
Remember, it's the front
Other
of the ship,
side?
the bow of the ship. Yep. Okay, so you go in, and she's like, and opens up the door. Oh God, sorry.
Is that N? Is she sick too?
Yeah, she sneezes. She sneezes. It's a weird looking mucus
And-
that comes out. Let's not talk about it. So,
Fix this.
what?
I'm sick.
This.
The Thorian did something to me. I mean, if Reich feels bad, then it causes some kind of disease. Reich was inside it for a short time.
Kyrann is also still poisoned, exhausted, isn't she?
No, she slept.
Oh, she slept. She's probably normal again.
If after one
am I
rest,
still poisoned?
What?
I'm fine, yeah.
So I'm still poisoned?
You're still poisoned, so it's a matter of poisoning Reich or, healing Reich or healing Stalbor.
I thought she could do it twice a day. That's what you told me.
Well, my argument would be I'm planning on trying to cure the.
Yeah, I would say cure him. The poison sucks, but it's not.
Gary would choose Stalwart anyway.
Oh,
Eh,
You're not here.
Fucking
My
garbage.
apologies,
Right.
Eric. Eric, unfortunately, your poison does go away. Because your poison does 1d3 wisdom damage every day, and eventually you become a creeper. But the thorium be DED, so you're actually safe. So you're fine. And so he's actually going to she's actually going to come over and cast a spell onto Stalbor to cleanse the feeling. So 1 second. So it does cast a spell on Stalbor, and in casting the spell on Stalbor does cure Stalbor, so he's no longer like removes that level of exhaustion, rehydrates your body, so on and so forth.
Feels so much better. Right, where's Bellum?
Bellum is going to be in a bed somewhere sleeping. Also trying to recover his strength.
I wake him up.
Okay.
Staff to the belly.
You wake up Bellum.
Mentally wakes up. So what I would say to him, we don't have to roleplay this because there's no Bellum, is the Thorian was a creature of Zoriat. You're trained to fight the creatures of Zoriat. Even if the Thorian is supposedly some strange case, these people are injured by afflictions of Zoriat, afflictions of madness. Work with me to find a cure. Or at least a fix.
My job is usually to kill them. Not cure them. But if I can help in any way, I'll of course help you. But again, usually
at the very
it's
least,
putting arrows in, not taking spells out.
At the very least, I am always in need of an assistant.
He's willing, somewhat reluctant, but willing to assist. Reluctant only in the sense like this isn't.
Stalbor
something I'm
also
good at.
seems somewhat reluctant, but knows this is a good idea.
He'll
So
work
that
with
would
you.
be working with him to try and find a. So, because Stalbor knows some mind magic. I know that's not really how magic works, but he does know a lot of magic about manipulating planes. That's how all of his magic comes from. So he's kind of going to find a sort of pseudo-magical, medicinal way to fix it. More magic than medicine.
Of course. So you do that. The more magic than medicine, pseudo-magic, medicinal way of fixing it. And the whole time that you're doing that, you actually do find out, Kyrann, that a couple more of your crew seem to be... so which ones? Savellum and Mia also seem to have a similar affliction to what Stalbor had, where they seem to be racked with thirst and their skin is just like cracking and it's dry.
And fix them? No.
N can cast the spell one more time. You can choose which one.
It's gonna be Mia because she's the youngest.
Okay. Cast the spell on Mia. Okay. Now, obviously, with Savellum, you just tell him to spend the day in bed or something?
I will keep him locked up, like in like a room to himself.
Sure. And give him, like, he's just constantly parched and constantly wants water and stuff like that. Stalbor, you and Bellum are working trying to figure out what's wrong with these people. As I said, they're catatonic. Why don't we, because there's nothing else to do today, correct? We're going to flash forward to the next day. The next day, Savellum's case is severely worsened. He's doing absolutely horrible. As a matter of fact, he's now 3 steps down on the exhaustion track this day. 3 steps is extreme because what is it? 5 steps you die, right?
6.
I don't know.
Is it 6 you die? I thought it was
I've got
5
the
you die.
shield here.
My books are in the car.
It says on this thing.
And
It's 6.
6
But
steps you
on
die.
5, you basically can't do anything.
Yeah.
At all.
So he's
So it's
he's 3
basically
steps
fine.
down. He's all sorts of fucked up. His skin is literally cracking open in portions. His tongue is looking like it's lacking any form of moisture. He's making this weird clicking noise, and his lips are dried and cracking and smacking together. He is not doing very well at all. Stalbor and Bellum are going to continue doing research. Kyrann is going to continue trying to have her ship be repaired and continue sailing out east. Reich is going to help with the typical shipping stuff. Excuse me. Kyrann, what do you do? What's the situation here? You're muted.
Kieran's
I'm
drowning.
so sorry. I'm drowning. No, I'm gonna try to help him as much as I can. Would a medicine check help at all?
Yeah, why don't you actually roll me a medicine check?
Yeah, I was going to do a medicine check on myself, but then we fixed it very quickly. And then he didn't care anymore.
Not good.
Honestly, you look at him and you're like,
-1. Who would
you're
have
like,
thought?
I just think he's dehydrated. He's really dehydrated.
could-
He needs to man up, just rest, have some bunch of water. He'll be fine.
We're surrounded by water. Why is he
I've
doing
provided lots of water, fresh water.
Mm-hmm.
You should, I mean, you could take hours out of Stalbor's very busy day to have the medical professional look at him.
Could do that. I'd do that.
Okay, who's a medical professional?
Me.
No more.
Go ahead, go look at him.
But he's not dead, so don't get the advantage.
Nope.
Which is funny. I'm better at dealing with dead people.
So, you're looking at him and you're checking him out, and you can clearly tell, like, this is supernatural what's happening here to some degree. And you're trying to figure out what it is. You spend some time trying to look over his body, seeing what's all happening. And one of the things that you notice is that not only is there, like, ashing and cracking of the skin and him suffering through nausea and stuff like that, but on top of that, the you can actually see there's, like, little spots where it's far worse, like the ashing and cracking, everything far worse than the rest. It's like actually reddens there. It looks absolutely horrid. And so when you check out that area and you look really closely with your elven eyes and your strong investigation skill, you actually see these tiny little pinholes where it looks like something may have burrowed its way into his skin. You actually see like almost like a ring or something there, like maybe some sort of parasite is inside of him. 24 medicine check is bombing.
Yeah. I would just burn the whole body, start from the beginning.
I was trying to just tell Kyrann.
Throw the whole corpse out.
I would not to burn him, just like he has parasites.
Can we take it out?
Parasites are quite hard to take out. Now, assuming that they're flesh-burrowing parasites that intend to eat the host whole, then you can lure them out with meat. You know, you give them something more tasty. But most parasites don't want to eat their host. They want to live inside their host.
What if we zap him and kill the parasites? They presumably are less strong than he is.
That is not the medical way.
But it makes sense.
Let me look. You just like flick the spell book for a bit. No,
Like
no,
I have like
no.
lightning crackling my fingertips.
This
like,
might be a
"Can you
problem
do
best
this?"
not solved by lightning. Perhaps.
Are you sure though?
I
maybe
think they do
cold?
exist, Kyrann.
Maybe cold? Maybe thunder?
I got options.
Fire?
Cold and fire would be more effective than lightning.
Okay, we can do that then.
If you reduce his body temperature or raise it enough, it would damage a parasite.
Alright. We can do that.
Now, the one thing is that obviously he has 9 health points.
That's why I'm saying don't do it.
And he's in pretty bad shape right now.
Well, like, realistically, how many health points does a person have? 2, 3?
Depends on the parasite. Actually, let me...
You just remove the leg. It's like, oh, it's in his calves. Remove his legs.
Oh, I actually know what to do.
Option.
I'll turn. Be like, there'll be like a long moment of thought when we're having this discussion, which is like probably like 5 minutes. It may be longer, but he has to stop Kyrann from actually doing it. Like, oh, you haven't said anything. I zapped him.
Well, I mean, no, you're an elf and I know how to communicate with you, so you wait for a bit. After you get my attention, I stand there.
I'll sort of like run. I'll run my hands over my staff. And now we're banned. And I'll say, this staff has powerful magics. I can fix him.
Okay.
His old state. I need to kill him first. But it will kill the parasites, guaranteed.
Okay, no, but if you kill him, he'll be back with those undead.
No. And he actually puts his finger on your lips, like, no.
Oh, I imagine it clammy and slimy. Like,
Yeah, and I've just been touching like a dying body. Yeah. And I don't have gloves anymore. Actually, no, I do. It's even worse.
It's like
That
wet, dry.
was my own magic. This is the magic of
Gustavus.
This is the magic of Cask.
The albino dude, I get that. But
It's more inclined to a cleric on a battlefield.
What
than-
happens to the albino dude? You'll never know because you blew up the ship.
This is something I discussed off stream that Stalbor would have noticed that he's not around, but I assume you just retconned him not to be on the ship because having too many NPCs around is annoying.
Honestly, since it doesn't matter anymore, if you found his corpse, you would have seen that the chick with the swords killed him before she confronted Kyrann.
none of us cared to look.
Yeah.
Well, we could have found him
But
on
your
the ship.
crew doesn't know that.
Yeah.
So.
His body might have been dredged up by the people going through the cargo ship, but he probably sank because he was also fucked up. He's food for the fishes now. This would return him to factory settings.
Okay, let's
I
do
don't
it.
know what that means.
I trust you.
If you want to be doubly sure, you might want to hit him with fire first. Better chance to kill the parasite. I don't know if this would affect that.
I'm going to kill him in whatever way will make sure he's dead the first time around. So I'm going to 4th level spell cast a chromatic orb, which I assume hits,
Yeah.
and have it be, I guess, fire.
Go right
Lightning
ahead.
seems more appropriate.
Roll your attack roll, of course.
I have to roll attack roll.
But you get advantage because he's right the fuck there.
I
You
feel so
might,
bad
like-
about
Who knows? It might be like nano machines. You might be turning into like a super intelligent thing.
that. I don't even have a 4th level chromatic orb, like damage set.
Well, there's a second level, so I guess presence
It's
wise.
2nd level, but how much do I get? Is it one
I think
d8?
it's
for
an
each
additional
one?
1d8, so
So
just
it's 2 more d8, yeah.
click that plus 2d8, yep.
I'm gonna do lightning damage because it's more appropriate for him.
Sure. 2 more
Being more
d8.
prevalent there.
Are you typing 2 more d8?
Yeah, I'm doing
Okay.
it. Shut.
I see
I'm
one hand like
doing it.
this and the other one not
I'm
moving,
doing
so I
it.
wasn't
I'm
sure.
doing it. My hand is moving. It's not
Okay.
there. Okay.
30 damage.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a
30
big jump.
damage.
That's a really good
Lightning
second
damage,
roll.
yeah.
Holy fuck! So you shock the fuck out of the guy and he dies. Stop, Ollie. How long do you have?
Excuse me.
Eric, could you at least mute the damn mic if you're gonna burp 20 times?
When someone dies, gas leaves the body.
Yeah. Jesus, you're like Mike. Mike is the worst. For
I didn't mean
for like
to.
20
What the
years, I'm on the phone with him. He burps on the phone. I'm like, next time I see you, I'm gonna slap you in the face. Like, stop being rude.
I have a minute, but I would be preparing the second she starts like casting the spell.
Well,
So-
you know, casting the spell is super quick. So
Yeah,
the reason why I
so
bring it
have
up is
so-
you could technically make another advantage roll medicine check.
No.
He's
no,
technically
I-
a corpse
that
now.
was-
That way you can
that was-
identify. Right?
No, I'm an elf, so you'll be like, oh no, you accidentally spend like an hour looking at it.
No, you're
immediately
brilliant. You're brilliant.
Revivify. So I put the staff on his body, and actually, Kieran's never seen this. Occasionally, when Stalbo casts a spell, the magic is not black and red. The magic is white and almost holy looking. The last times he's done that was with Odette and Luca a very, very long time ago. And this would actually be that sort of look, using the staff as clearly a conduit to restore life to him. So basically just reboots him. And I don't know whether that would remove exhaustion. I mean, that's entirely up to depending on where the causes and be and all that sort of thing. But
Sure.
My thought is that would have killed the parasites, and then this would revive him, not the parasites.
The exhaustion would still be there because the effects would remain.
'Cause it's a
However,
disease thing.
you believe that it kills the parasites.
Right.
And so comes back to life with 1 health point. After being electrocuted to death by Kyrann, he's not very happy as he looks at Kyrann with pain and anguish and horror.
Stalbor is very happy, and Kyrann is muted.
As
I'm so
always.
sorry. I thought it was the quickest way possible to do it. Are you okay?
I feel horrible. Did I die?
Just for a little bit.
Momentarily. But I brought you back. Isn't that brilliant?
You're good. You're not like a skeleton or anything. You're fine.
I need sleep and water.
Please return to me in 12 hours. I want to see what may have happened.
I think I'll just stay here.
I can come to you.
So, flashing forward, you come back 12 hours later, and he's still passed out on the table. But one of the things that you do notice, do me a favor, actually, roll me an investigation check.
Investigation, not medicine?
Correct.
I'm happy with that. Because investigation is significantly better.
Oh my god. Christ.
You thought you were duping me.
One of the things that you notice on the table, over by where his legs are, they did fry and fall out. They tried to worm their way out, but didn't get out in time. They still died from the electrical bolts. They're these tiny little worms. They're these like dried up little worm husks with these like serrated mouths that they have. These tiny little husks that when you poke them, with something else, you hit it. It so hardens. You have enough of them there as a sample that one of them, you might even hit it really hard, and it doesn't crack or break or anything. It seems to be like stone.
Stone or petrified wood?
Either one of those. It's kind of hard to tell right now.
I will absolutely
without a microscope, and of course you'll do tests. Yep.
Put them in a bottle.
Yep, of course.
Absolutely collecting that.
Yep, of course.
And then immediately I start going over the enthralled catatonic people, looking for signs of them.
No signs of those whatsoever in those people. This seems to be something entirely unrelated to that.
All right. He thought it was worth a check.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Possible.
Of course. So, that was actually a fun little creature I thought of while I was in Arizona. And I actually made it and threw it up onto my Patreon. So that was a fun little thing. Moving on. So this is the.
It was very fun for everyone involved.
Well, unfortunately, you solved it in such a douchey way. I didn't even get to fully use it.
Solve it in a douchey way.
No, it was actually brilliant. Did you see my look
time
of shock? Like I forgot. Like I was like,
realized what I could do as I did.
Brilliant.
This is like the first time of hopefully many where, as a higher level wizard, I can just sort of say "fuck you"
And solve the
and
problem.
just kind of solve the problem a different way.
Yep. Nope. It was brilliant. It was fucking brilliant. So Bellum's not here. So fuck Bellum. I'm gonna have you more or less. Reich will be your sounding board, the person that you're able to speak to, because Bellum's not here. So you're trying. We're flashing forward several more days as your guys are coming around your way to Last Point, because that's where Kyrann wanted to go first. As you guys have been traveling to bring your way to Last Point, you're not quite there yet because I have to describe some serious shit. But before I describe that serious shit, Kyrann, Stalbor, using Reich as the person that you speak to, roll me your check to check these people out. You can do 3 medicine checks. They're all alive.
Is this because Eric looks catatonic?
Oh,
You're having a big deal.
he's woke up more this hour. Now there's hope.
Fuck you.
But not great.
All right, so
The issue being is that they're alive. See.
you and Bellum are trying to do your research to figure out what's wrong with them. Honestly, you've come up with two theories. One, their brain has suffered such an extreme shock from the loss of what they were connected to that at the moment they just seem to be empty. And you think maybe something can bring that back, can just kind of like snap them out of this catatonic state. What that is, who knows? The other theory that you came up with on them is that they lost their minds entirely the whole time that they were themselves, but under the control of the Thorian. Their minds are actually wholly consumed by the Thorian, and these are literally just like little worker ants that were controlled by it. And so the reason why they're catatonic right now is because they actually are vegetables. They're completely brain dead. So it's one or the other, completely opposite directions. So something hard to shock them back, whether it be the same thing for all of them or different, or they're fucking vegetables.
I wonder if you can control them like undead.
They're not.
I mean, I was
corpses.
tempted to cast Speak with Dead to see if, but
Yeah.
then. Actually, that
Really,
would work.
if you cast
they
Speak with
were
Dead on a
if
brain
they
dead
were
person,
completely mind wiped, in fantasy logic, their soul isn't in them, so that would potentially work. But that's a whole different.
there's a difference between the
kettle.
mind and the soul. Two different things.
Exactly, depends on the whole fantasy rule set, I guess.
True. Or your world or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, I would just continue working on the theories. I guess I would try and make like a very strong sort of smelling salt kind of thing, like magic infused sort of thing. Something that based on an old elvish recipe that restores. I mean, actually makes sense in Aeronel, like something that can literally be smelt by the dead. But that would be kind of I would be working on that. I'd be working on the hypothesis that these people can potentially be fixed. Because Stalbor doesn't want to think the fact that they're just dead.
Yeah.
Of course. So, you're gonna keep working on that theory. All right. This is where things get
I do have to talk to N about last point.
Okay. Do you want to do that before I describe you hitting the far east? Because please go right ahead.
I mean, it's up to you. If I continue going towards the area, would she just approach me? And be like, where are we going, Kyrann?
I think you've already made it clear to Shuri, haven't you?
Yeah, but I've been very subtle about it till this point.
So,
And now we're actually going there.
Not gonna question because there's many ways to sail through the Lhazaar Principalities that you might find safe, that others might find dangerous, and So go ahead.
So So, N, how do we get to the last point?
We straight out ask that.
Yeah. Like, how did we get there? Because I don't know, to be honest.
I knew at some point she's in her usual female form, the very, I had a feeling this is where you'd want to go first. I had a feeling it's where you were trying to have me bring you. It is, of course, where I've more or less told you I've grown up.
We need information.
You don't
We
need
need to know what's going
information.
on here.
You need a port to dock in that isn't going to destroy your ship, and you've got coin to
Immediately.
spend.
We need safety. Long term, we need information.
You understand that I can't serve two masters.
I know.
I can't show you how to get to the actual port by ship, but I can show you to a place where you may dock, and I can bring you there by foot.
Okay.
It is a safe dock. It's an old cave, a sea cave. This ship should be able to maneuver in because it has the elemental. Otherwise,
The ship doesn't have an elemental, Scott.
Oh, my apologies, because you can control the winds.
It's the elemental wheel.
This ship should
Yeah,
be able
it's
to.
a weird helm.
This ship should be able to maneuver in because you can control the winds. You'd be better off with a real ship, but this will do.
This is a fine ship.
It is. For back west.
That's fair. That's very fair.
It's a sitting duck back home.
Agreed.
I can bring you
It'll
to
be
a point.
okay. Don't sigh.
You say it'll be okay. I haven't been there in a long while.
I will keep you safe.
I was concerned. Thanks. You know, I haven't been here since everything that transpired,
I imagine.
including the death of my parent and sibling.
Yep.
Since I was a child.
Yep.
And we've spent a considerable amount of time together.
Yep.
Well, what are you hoping to get from them?
Information. I'm gonna know what's happening in the Principalities.
All right. Well, hopefully you have something worth bartering with. We'll find out, won't we? As you continue sailing east, is a very short period of time where all of a sudden something happens. A storm rolls up on you. Fast. Real fast. Like faster than you would have possibly believed. As in fact, the storm rolls up on you so fast, it frightens the shit out of you. It gives you this idea, this feeling. Wait, is this like a kraken? Is this the doings of a kraken or some sort of sea mage or sea witch or something like that? What has caused this to happen? But it's actually not a storm rolling up on you that you come to realize. You came up upon a storm that you didn't see off in the distance way faster than you think should have been able to be possible. And so you find yourselves caught in this nasty, nasty storm trying to head east. It is a devastatingly bad storm, but you're gonna have to roll for me the sailing check to try to make your way through it. Now, you do have the ability to reduce winds, don't you?
I could not control how strong the winds are, only the direction.
Oh, the direction of the winds. Okay. So,
I mean, so theoretically, I guess I have them blow the opposite way of.
well, or at the very least,
It's control. Mm-hmm.
to stop your ship from capsizing and stuff like that, you can go opposite.
Right.
Obviously, you pull up your sails and everything so they're not taking the winds. But you're going to have to roll me your check, and because you have your magics and all of your crew knows the ship very well and everything, you're going to have to roll that with advantage.
Cool.
Because, you know, Reich is such a good help.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, he's perfectly covered by your 11. It's really funny. So, so he says nobody can see that he's sleeping over there. He's just covered up. Nobody can see him. So,
He's alive.
you know, we're going to say he is, but nobody can tell because he's covered.
I'm not sleeping. I'm just warm.
Sleep talking.
I'm tired.
Aww.
He's making coherent
I'm
sentences.
sleep conversating with you guys. I'm
Sleep
just a
D&D.
ghost.
So,
Aw.
Ooh.
Also, Penny is also sleeping, like, just on the right of it. It's adorable.
Little family sleep
That's so
time.
cute.
so, you were able to stop the ship from being capsized or anything the first day of being in the storm. But here's the question. Do you try to push through the storm? Obviously, you close up the sails. Do you try, or are you just trying to survive, wait it out?
I tried to push through.
Okay.
I mean, like, you knew that answer.
The storm lasts more
I'm
than
not
one
happy
day.
about it. As a PC, but
The storm lasts more than one day.
oh, also it doesn't rain around me, like within 100 feet.
That's weird. That's a weird thing.
By the way,
That's just a thing that definitely will be commented on.
I keep mentioning it. Yeah, like no, like it doesn't rain.
Like ever?
Yeah, like it rains around us.
It's funny because like you'll be walking by people be like,
Actually,
the weather here is
Yeah,
so
very useful.
drab, and Stalbor is like hugging Kyrann.
We
I don't know what
use-
you're talking about. It's pretty nice.
We use the dry weather to just burn the witch. We're not having this.
All right. So, how do you know she's done burning? When the rain starts to fall on her sizzling corpse. So, you the second day that you're trying to push your way through, again, the storm continues longer than 1 day and doesn't let up even the slightest bit into that second day. Roll me the second check, normal. No add or dis. So you continue pushing through the storm, trying to find your way out the other side. You push for a whole day. At some point in time, you got to lie down and rest, and you do. You just try to catch up as many Z's as you can, try to relax as much as you can. It's just, oh God, the weather here is so awful. Your crew taking over, the things being tossed back and forth. Everybody's sick. Luckily, Savellum was healing up, and he's able to get back to work and start assisting again. But people aren't doing well at all. It lasts into a third day. Once again, not letting up at all. It is unrelenting. Your crew is tired. You're tired. Everybody's irritable, but nobody's wet. Huh, go figure. You're gonna have to make this check right here with disadvantage.
It's okay.
As it goes, it could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Would you like to?
I will. Why not?
It is our ship.
And our lives.
Our only ship right
if
now.
you get a really bad roll, we just die in the sea. So
It's already damaged. We couldn't fix it last because it wanted us out.
So
it works.
fighting against the storm for 3 full days. You guys are pushing and pushing. You've been in the storm for about 78, 79 hours. When all of a sudden, you come through the back side of it, and it's like a curtain of rain immediately behind where the ship is, and you're on peaceful waters on the other side. You're not even sure where you are in the Lhazaar Principalities. It's going to take you a while to map the stars when the final of the night falls and everything, to map the stars and find out exactly where you're located. You have no clue where you are in the Principalities. You just try to push through the storm to the best of your ability, fighting against it. But what you notice behind you is this nasty curtain storm that exists behind where you are back west. And the clouds overhead are raging. Rolling thunder nonstop, bolts of lightning shooting around. These clouds are so thick and so tall, so high up. It is mind-blowing how powerful this storm is that is immediately behind you, and then it just stops. Like it's just cut off. Not even around Storm Breach or whatever it's called. Not even around Storm Breach is there a cutoff like this? Stormhome, thank you. Is there a cutoff like this? There's like a gradual, like, nasty storm. Okay, rough clouds. Okay, clouds. Okay, clear skies. It's gradual. Here, it's just... and you're looking overhead, and it's fucking frightening. Please. Sauber, you've been able to make 0 progress in that time, of course.
I assumed that, minor magic is incredibly useful when trying to handle the storm, so you're not going to do anything productive. I will make a joke that Kyrann, you didn't tell me you had a big sister, and then that's really the only thing I have to say or do.
I don't know who my father is. Entirely possible.
It is possible. I won't argue with that.
So you see that nastiness behind you. You just fuck it and just keep moving on. Pretend like it's nothing.
Have you met us as a party?
No, look at that.
What are you? I mean, can I do an Arcana check?
Glad we're through that.
You're welcome.
I can imagine what it is, Scott.
What is it?
I'm assuming it's Larendar. I'm assuming it's Larendar.
Potentially.
I know it's control
like
weather.
Yeah, I guess I'd be doing the Arcana check more during the storm and try and understand what it is now, but yeah.
It's clearly a supernatural storm. You know what I mean? But that much is pretty apparent. It's clearly a supernatural storm, and it's unrelenting. For somehow, either it's a constant casting or some type of magic that just does not let up is making this happen. And it's beyond what your perception doesn't seem to have an end until you pierce through it, right? As you spend the rest of the daytime, because you do come out during the day, as you spend the rest of the daytime sailing further and further east, trying to get away from the storm, As it starts to shrink behind you, you look off into the back behind you, and you can actually see, even though the clouds are extremely high up, you can see that it's a wall of this storm.
You ever see like a storm move? It makes that you start a curtain, like totally.
Except the curtain doesn't move. It's stationary. Only you move.
It's magical and stationary, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was just like, is this the blockade you were talking about that Lyrandar has?
Probably.
Your family's fucked up, Kyrann.
I mean, it could potentially be a protection for a last point, but I don't think it's likely. And yeah, a bit.
To answer that last thing that you said, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're actually looking at that map that we usually look at there, Aaron, that evening, could you do me a favor and roll me that same check to kind of like for your navigation to find out where you are?
Want me to roll a navigation?
Yeah, your navigation check.
I'm sorry, I rolled it with disadvantage. I ericed it. He's asleep, so somebody has to.
Don't you usually have advantage? Is that one of the things you have advantage on, or am I wrong?
I have advantage on nothing that's come up in game ever. So
like swimming, one of them is, but you have a swim speed now.
Swimming
so
in stormy weather. So yeah, it doesn't matter. Athletics, swimming in dangerous water. No, sorry, nature, stormy weather. Like all about it. I know everything about it. I also have a cantrip that does that, by the way.
Oh, actually, that's really cool. No, that's really cool. Roll me your nature check. Roll me your nature check for all the weather. That's actually.
Yeah. I guess you might as well, right?
Yeah. That's actually something you can do right now before we.
This is the first time I think it's ever come up.
So, for the ferocity of that kind of storm, there's a certain type of cloud that needs to be there for that to happen.
Yeah.
But as you're sailing away, you notice this as you're getting further and further away, so you can see higher and higher up. And this is unlike usual controlling of the weather, because controlling the weather artificially creates a normal storm, right? Like the raindrops aren't magical, just the bringing of the weather is magical, right? The clouds are nowhere near as tall or as grand in height as you would imagine to have the ferocity of the storm coming down beneath it. So it's not like those clouds are stretching so high up that you'd never be able to go above them. They actually are kind of shorter down than you would think.
Maybe it is a magical item.
Okay.
Things here.
So
maybe it was a single source.
And your navigator's tools at your 9. That first night out in the stars, you try to discern where you are, but you're kind of so turned about. Your whole ship is fucked up. All your maps are fucked up and everything from the storm and the ship being tossed around. You actually aren't able to discover where it is that you are in the sea today. It's pretty rough. You're like, well, we know we're to the east of typical like mainland Corvair. I forgot the word, sorry, of mainland Corvair. I'm pretty sure we're fairly south of Longhorn. Is it Longhallen? But we're not sure exactly how far south that is. So you're going to need to wait another whole day before doing that. That being said, which direction do you choose to sail? Because you can easily discern direction in the meanwhile.
So I'm sorry, where are we again?
East of Corvair, but that's pretty obvious.
East of
and you
Corvair.
believe south of Lhazaar, as I was mispronouncing it.
Lhazaar. Let me pull it up really quick. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I would go and look at the map in my living room, but it actually cuts off a lot of the principalities.
Does it?
It does. I told you, it's the older version of the map.
Oh, it's the older version, yeah.
So somewhere what of Lhazaar? South, north, west?
South.
South of Lhazaar. Then we will just travel east.
Sure, just keep traveling east.
Yeah.
Sure. Okay. And you'll spend your day traveling east until that nighttime. You'll be able to make a check again to try to see where you are.
Mm-hmm. When we do that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm the worst sailor ever.
Yeah. So, when you finally get your stars realigned and you're looking at your little charts and everything and trying to figure out where you are, you finally come to the conclusion you were way, way, way off in your prediction. You actually think that you're just barely between where Kabara and the chunk, that small little chunk of land that's to the south west of Lord Kalen is. You think you're in almost like that channel that's right there. You're like, oh, so we should probably start heading southeast before we hit that land. Because obviously you're not trying to attract any pirates that might be closer to the shore. Being deeper in the ocean has lots of dangers, but the one plus side is you're less likely to bump into other ships.
Yep, that's good.
Mm-hmm. So you continue traveling that way for about another day or so until finally you have stars for you to try to realign yourself again.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Stalbor, can you help me?
I mean, I have a phobia of being on the sea, so my
But you don't
knowledge
look
of
at
the
the sea.
stars.
Let's look up the stars.
The sea is below me when I'm looking up. I'm not looking at it. It could do anything. But he would help. He would help, but, you know, the thing is that he doesn't know anything, but he could understand the map and the navigator's tools pretty logically,
you're
I guess.
still super intelligent, yeah.
It would still give you advantage, right? I was just making memes. But also he is terrified of being on boats. So
Why are you terrified of being on a boat?
he kind of got over it a lot. But like the
wait.
first time you got on a boat, it was like a genuine fear.
No. I'm asking right now. Why are you terrified of being on the water?
That's a very complicated question.
It doesn't seem that complicated.
It's a complicated answer.
Okay.
Maybe we'll find out if, after all of this, and you sell your information, we go to Aeronel.
Right, we just have to go to Last Point and what's that island up north? Questor and Orthos, and then we can go to... Oh, and then we drop break off at Marehold, and then we can go.
It's okay. It's okay, Kyrann. I'm going to live for a very long time. I'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of us.
That's funny. He's like, oh, is that supposed to intimidate me? Nope.
It wasn't meant to be intimidating thing. It's meant to be like, I have a lot of shit to do.
That's funny.
And probably not a lot of time, given the way I'm going.
Nope.
All right. So, anyways, Kyrann, so you, if you have that same map open that we consistently use, and I think the one that Ollie had posted in Twitch earlier up, now that you finally have your bearings and he's able to line up your stars, like I'm pretty sure I'm here on the map. He helps you out, and Stalwar's like, sweetie, no. And you guys actually come to the conclusion, if you're looking at that map, where you are physically on the map is around where the dot next to the word Hamlet is on the legend, on the master key. So you're like very, very, very south.
Where?
Yeah. You're like in deep ocean. You're actually pretty close to Aeronel.
We're deep ocean in between
Oh dear.
Yeah.
Principalities and Aeronel.
Huh.
Good job. Which would be what he says.
Controlling the weather only gets you so far.
Mm.
All right.
And so you guys correct your course and start heading north. How many miles a day can you travel on this boat? Do you remember?
I don't fucking remember.
Jesus, Aaron.
That's DM shit.
I give you rules and you don't
I
read
can
them.
look it up in the DMG, but I assume Eberron ships have different rules.
The ship in general just is a lot faster or whatever. It doesn't really matter.
And I can control the winds. Therefore it's fast.
Yeah, it's gonna take a long time.
Its speed is 6 miles per hour, so that's
We could go to Aeronel right now.
What? Suddenly change course.
We could. We're right there.
Like, it would be the same distance.
We could go there, Stalbor. We could go there. Stalbor's like, no.
Stalbor kind of shrugs and is like, whatever you want to do, Captain.
Nah, let's go to Last Point.
It's 144 miles a day is how far you can travel, which is actually still pretty solid, you know what I mean, on this map. So unfortunately, though, to finish getting all the way up to Last Point, you're still looking at 4, 5, 6 days of travel, so another whole week, because you went so far off course. And so we're going to do that. We're going to flash forward a ton of time. So you guys coming up around the southeastern portion of Lord Kalen, making your way over to Last Point, finally bringing your way to where it is that the peoples are that you need to speak to. As you're making your way there, though, around, again, the southern reaches of this, it's always good to be a little bit closer to land as you're finishing your navigations. Make me perception checks, everybody. I'll make one over here, too. For your surviving lookout. Everybody included Reich. Perception check?
Perception check, sweetie.
Oh, I rolled a 9-20.
Yeah, I guess we don't need to worry about
Yeah, I don't have to worry about it.
it. Who cares, right?
Mm-hmm.
We gotta look out for a reason.
You do.
Literally his job.
Fuck you.
It's
We're the best out
Velo.
of the players.
Yeah, it's a Velo. But Reich also notices something flying towards the ship. It's a really fucking strange-looking creature that's flying towards the ship. You're looking up at it, and it's this like large-sized thing with these wings that don't even seem like they're really big enough or large enough to support it. But it's flying its way towards the ship. The thing is so dark, so blackened, as it's making its way over towards you, just flapping these large wings. Again, it's hard to make out what it is, but it is getting closer and closer and closer. And with that, why don't we actually call this session today? Something flying towards your ship as you're finally getting
mysterious
into the Principalities. Yes, mysterious thing. Kyrann, add an action point to your pool.
Mysterious thing.
Awesome. We're finally into the regular game, and that side quest is finally over.
Thank God.
Best.
Woo-hoo. All we needed to do to finish the side quest was not have William here.
That's
That's all we needed.
Yeah, sure. It's definitely William that kept that.
Well,
side
It
Well,
was
quest
so much
going.
William's
the
fault.
worst.
It was so much William's fault that he caused. It was so much William's fault that he caused his character to die. It was all him.
I'm just gonna say,
Worst.
during the side quest, we had a PC die, another one changed their background. That was more of like a main plot than
It
anything
was
else we had.
more of a main plot character-wise than the actual.
And it was awful. And some of us enjoyed it.
I like the end.
All right.
Still on that thing. I like getting 10,000 gold. Those were nice things.
That's a
Yeah,
nice
Kyrann,
thing.
I hope you wrote that down.
It's
'cause,
still
you know,
on your
you
boat.
How
Oh.
did I
got
write
given-
down?
You got given the unless you want Starboard to be the party bank, which actually
Yeah,
is.
it's your
Never
job.
mind. 10,000 gold.
All caps.
It's the only way we do it.
Yeah,
Hey,
I just
all
put it in my
caps.
character
It's the only way we do it
section.
in America. All
Yeah.
caps.
I
We
forgot
also,
that I was
we also
party
got
bank.
salvage, right, from the other ship.
Yeah,
So Scott will probably let
that's
us
something
know.
I imagine we deal with it when we're.
We'll worry about that later.
Report.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
Alright.
Don't worry. So ready, Ollie? Who are you? How can we find you? What are you doing?
Ready, player one. It's me. I'm player one in the story of Ollie's life. I'm at Ollie Rant in some places, Ollie in some other places, and Ollie Smith Art in some places. I am streaming, and I am doing some arts. Next week, I have 2 D&D campaigns starting, one off-stream, one on-stream, both in my homebrew world of Yavaskir. But the one still off-stream, you will be able to see some stuff, like Patrons will get something a little special to, so that you feel in the loop. You'll be able to see what's going on in the world, as I have a group of hapless level 1 adventurers I get to torture. And then I do all the other things, and I do streams, and I've been playing Ghost of a Tale, which is a game where you play as a mouse in a world controlled by rats, and it's pretty badass. And there's several other games that I might start next week. You know what? That's it. And I'm probably going to bake a cake tomorrow, so I might tweet about that, because that's my life.
Egg.
Wait.
Yeah, man. I'm excited about it.
You're telling us in advance that you're gonna tweet about baking a cake.
You look, man. I know our fans.
Looks like someone's getting
I
muted
know
on Twitter
who I'm
tomorrow.
pandering to. I know that they're interested.
Okay.
You don't look so surprised. You know I'm right.
I was just checking. Okay. Aaron, who are you? How can we find you?
I am Aaron. I am Rinson on all things. The easy way to get a hold of me is on the Discord, where I am super active. So you should join that if you're not already a part of it. I play here on Fridays, and I also play on Scott's Mass Effect stream on Wednesdays and Ollie's Yavisker game, which I'm taking a little bit of a break of, but I'll be back soonish.
Probably next week.
Oh, really? That's soon?
Well,
soonish.
you know, why not? Why wait, right?
They're gonna dilly-dally, is the thing. God
I'm
knows what this
sure
party
they
gonna do
don't
without me.
dilly-dally.
With
Maybe.
no direction whatsoever. So yeah. That's me. Goodbye.
Eric, how can we find you and so on?
Well, in about 5 minutes you can find me in bed. Please don't come over though.
Ooh.
I don't want you here. But barring that, I'm usually on the Twits or on the Discord at Kunsai64. So hit me up there. And yeah, I'm here on Fridays. So definitely watch this. This show's good.
I am excited to get back to that main plot. William is Will Call Brewing. Who gives a fuck about him? He didn't show up because he made plans weeks and weeks and weeks in advance and told me
Fuck
about
that piece of shit for having a life.
Yeah, and being kind enough to tell me in advance. I'm Delric, just Google it. But hey, Star Wars starts next week, which I'm excited about, so that's
Mass
fun.
Effect. Oh.
Mass Effect starts next week, which I'm excited about.
I thought you said Star Wars.
Yamexcare starts next week, which I'm excited about. Holy shit, this is like... If you imagine Fridays are my Mondays for like streaming or whatever, new season technically started just now, right? Plus, Mass Effect, Yamexcare, and Star Wars all starting at the same time. That's like jarring.
That is a crazy Wednesday. I can't.
It's not what I wanted. It's not how I wanted it.
It's not what we planned. No.
No, but oh well. Over there, Mathis, Maggie, Doxy, and myself are all hanging out and playing some Star Wars and whatnot. And fourth PC coming soon. Don't worry about that. All right. Bye. See you later.
See ya, dude.
And Dudette.